Lin Shi looked coldly at Qing Yun. Seeing the uncontrollable excitement clearly written on her face, he slowly took a gene pill from his pocket and gently placed it in front of her. Try it. Naturally, I won't have you work for me for nothing. This is my show of sincerity, Lin Shi said in a calm voice. To him, this gene pill actually didn't have much effect anymore. After all, his speed of absorbing source energy from beast cores was much faster than directly taking pills. But to Qing Yun, this gene pill was like a rare treasure. Without a moment's hesitation, she took the pill from Lin Shi's hand and swallowed it without a second thought. She knew very well in her heart that if Lin Shi wanted to harm her, he wouldn't need to go through the trouble of using drugs. Killing her directly would be much faster. Therefore, she wasn't stupid enough to doubt whether the pill was poisoned. The moment the pill slid down her throat, a stream of heat instantly spread through Qing Yun's body. At the same time, the refreshing sensation of rapidly absorbing the source essence almost made her moan out loud. Almost immediately, she realized that the source essence content in this pill far exceeded the essence capsules she used to spend hundreds of contribution points to exchange for from the organization. Fully grasping the immense value of this pill, Qing Yun tremblingly reached out both hands and made a request that caught Lin Shi off guard. If I can accomplish one task for you, can you give me another pill like this? In Qing Yun's eyes, this condition wasn't just unreasonable, it could even be called greedy. After all, she had to work her ass off in the organization for years just to exchange for a capsule with a much lower essence content. Yet, now she had easily obtained one, and she wanted even more. After personally feeling the source essence surging like a heat wave and being rapidly absorbed in her body, Qing Yun even felt the urge to offer herself to Lin Shi. As long as Lin Shi wanted it. Hearing Qing Yun's words, Lin Shi's expression became rather peculiar. He confirmed, one task for one pill? The things he wanted Qing Yun to do weren't simple either. Qing Yun bit her lip, feeling she had asked for too much. Probing tentatively, 2 tasks for one pill? Lin Shi frowned. This time, Qing Yun's face was full of hesitation. Just as she was about to say 3 tasks for one pill, Lin Shi nodded. 2 tasks for one pill. Qing Yun nodded vigorously, staring unblinkingly at Lin Shi as if looking at a god of wealth. At this moment, image, the organization, Qing Xian, all of it was thrown out the window. From now on, he was her direct superior, her sugar daddy. Lu Fanqiu arrived at the central district and stood before the district chief's office. Is the district chief in? I need to see him. Please announce me. The guard immediately reported it. Very quickly, the guard allowed Lu Fanqiu to enter. Lu Fanqiu stepped into the office. What's the matter, Captain Lu? The new district chief of District 9. Duan Ling looked up from his screen and raised an eyebrow at Lu Fanqiu. Knowing Duan Ling had little patience, Lu Fanqiu got straight to the point. District chief, our district has been looking for the suspicious person who triggered the spiritual power device recently, right? I found a highly suspicious individual and came to report it to you. Oh, who is it? Duan Ling showed some interest. Lu Fanqiu seized the chance to report. It's Qin Shi. Previously, he was just a level 1 spiritual power user, working logistics in a squad under my command. But 2 days ago, he somehow passed the level 5 spiritual power test. I find it highly suspicious. Although he intended to follow his son's example and badmouth the guy, one had to admit Lu Fanqiu was a blind cat finding a dead mouse this time. It really was Lin Shi who triggered the spiritual power device. However, Duan Ling looked at Lu Fanqiu with a profound gaze. Regarding the spiritual power alarm, after inspection, it was determined to be an equipment malfunction, Duan Ling said indifferently. The previous spiritual power alarm, after checking the equipment, was also determined not to be a malfunction. Duan Ling had already reported this to the federal headquarters. Headquarters told him to drop it and keep his mouth shut. They would investigate it themselves. Duan Ling, a mere district chief of a backward area, had no right to interfere. But Duan Ling had his own speculations. He thought it was highly likely that a level 9 VIP from the Federation had secretly visited the new District 9 and accidentally triggered the spiritual power alarm. It was hard to link this to a mere level 5 spiritual power user. Lu Fanqiu, on the other hand, was a different story. Duan Ling knew him well, a man willing to exploit any opportunity to eliminate his rivals. Duan Ling didn't buy Lu Fancho's words and simply used the equipment malfunction excuse to brush him off. What? An equipment malfunction again? Lu Fancho couldn't believe it. Yeah, are you saying you don't believe me? Duan Ling frowned and asked back. Sir, this subordinate wouldn't dare. Lu Fancho bowed his head in dissatisfaction, though it was hard to hide the resentment in his heart. Without the district chief's backing, settling the score with Qin Shi would be very difficult. Not to mention, Qin Shi was now involved with Qin Yun, that woman. Duan Ling understood the carrot and stick approach perfectly, so he directly opened his optical computer and quickly pulled up Qin Shi's information. Seeing Qin Shi's airship ticket booking record, Duan Ling looked up at Lu Fancho and reminded him, "The guy you're talking about is leaving the district by airship tomorrow." Duan Ling directly projected the optical computer screen for Lu Fancho to see. Seeing this news, Lu Fancho's eyes widened and his jaw dropped in shock. Qin Shi was leaving? He had absolutely no idea. Qin Shi's information clearance was now on par with his own, so naturally, Lu Fancho didn't know. If the guy left the new District 9, he would be even more powerless to do anything. He would just have to swallow this bitter pill. But since things had come to this, he had no choice but to accept it. After a moment of silence, Lu Fancho cupped his hands and said, "Then this subordinate will take his leave." Just as Lu Fancho was about to turn and leave, Duan Ling called him back. "There's a batch of weapons in the armory that needs inspection and maintenance. I'm putting you in charge of it. Just have it done by the day after tomorrow." Lu Fancho, whose mood was initially gloomy, suddenly perked up. He instantly understood the district chief's implication. Although weapon inspection and maintenance was just a routine procedure, at this specific time, he could legitimately take a batch of weapons from the armory. As long as he returned them before the day after tomorrow, it would be fine. Duan Ling wouldn't ask what he used those weapons for during that time. Thinking of this, Lu Fancho hurriedly thanked him. "Thank you, District Chief." Duan Ling waved his hand, signaling Lu Fancho to leave quickly. Having received permission, Lu Fancho was overjoyed, his steps light as he left the district chief's office. He was brimming with confidence. Let alone a level 5 spiritual power user, even a powerful level 6 or level 7 would only be able to swallow their resentment and die on the spot when facing the destructive power of a laser gun, a weapon impossible for humans to dodge. Because the human physique simply couldn't evade the speed of a laser weapon, there wasn't even enough time for a soldier to pull the trigger. These weapons, researched and manufactured by the Federation, couldn't deal lethal damage to wild beasts. Yet they could force spiritual power users into total submission to the Federation, stripping them of any rebellious thoughts. Because no matter how strong a spiritual power user was, they were still just mortal flesh and blood. Lu Fancho understood this perfectly, so he was absolutely certain of victory. The district chief really did still value him highly. Stepping out of the district chief's office, Lu Fancho was already imagining the scene of Qin Shi being shot by a laser gun. He couldn't use it openly, otherwise, the district chief would lose face. Lu Fancho started plotting how to use these laser weapons. He had just seen on the district chief's optical computer that Qin Shi was boarding an airship early tomorrow morning. That time was right during rush hour. The streets would be crowded, making it inconvenient to strike, not to mention Qin Yun would be running interference. But at the landing pad, there was a specific stretch he had to walk. That stretch not only had a clear line of sight, but people without tickets couldn't enter either. Lu Fancho instantly thought of the ideal ambush spot. The corners of his mouth curled up slightly, revealing a triumphant smile. "How dare you offend me? Qin Shi, just wait for your death." Thanks to Lin Shi's promise regarding the gene pills, Qin Yun went all out. She prioritized ensuring that Lin Shi's airship would take off normally tomorrow. Qin Yun immediately sought out 2 trusted subordinates she had recruited over the years and paid out of her own pocket to buy them airship tickets to the new District 7. "Qin Air, you two must protect this man well. His life is even more important than mine. Whatever he tells you to do, you must obey absolutely. If there's something you can't handle, contact me immediately." "Understood." Qin Yi and Qin Air exchanged a glance and nodded solemnly. These two were Qin Yun's secret weapons, bought from the black market. Normally, Qing Yun didn't use them to avoid the organization discovering her secret faction building. But for Lin Shi, Qing Yun not only summoned them, but also ordered them to absolutely obey him. She was truly giving it her all. If she wasn't stuck in the new District 9, Qing Yun would have rather escorted Lin Shi to the new District 7 herself. After giving numerous instructions, Qing Yun was still worried. She transferred 2 million Federation credits from her account onto a blank card. Here is 2 million Federation credits. Use it freely. You must listen to him in everything, understood? Qing Yi took the card and nodded seriously. All right, you two head back first. Wait at the airship landing pad tomorrow morning. Having finished her instructions, Qing Yun waved her hand. Yes, master. The two took their leave. After they left, Qing Yun used the resources at her disposal to check on Lu Fancho's situation and dig up more information on Qin Shi. She reviewed it over and over before finally getting a good night's sleep. The next day, Lin Shi took the hotel car to the airship landing pad. Lin Shi had always been curious about this airship mode of transportation. With this world's technology so advanced, the flying vehicles looked exactly like the airships in Earth's cartoons, rather than airplanes or faster modes of transport. He posed this question to Qing Yun. Qing Yun smiled faintly. Why? Simply because those people are afraid of dying. Airships aren't meant for the convenience of ordinary people. They're built to ensure the safe travel of the powerful. For the sake of safety, they don't mind wasting a lot of time. Speaking of this, Qing Yun's expression soured. She leaned in close to Lin Shi and whispered, Do you know how much money the Federation spends annually on airship maintenance? Without waiting for Lin Shi to guess, Qing Yun continued, Nearly 500 billion. Do you know how much the Federation spends annually on infrastructure and housing renovation for commoners? Not even 1 billion. In the eyes of the Federation's rulers, commoners are no different from pigs in a pen. As long as they have a place to stay and can be made to work, that's enough. The wild beasts out there have multiplied to a terrifying extent. The funny thing is, those fools are still fighting over resources within the Federation. The entire Federation has rotted from the inside out. Perhaps we won't even need the wild beasts. The current federal regime could collapse at any moment. At this point, worry was clearly visible in Qing Yun's eyes. For someone of her class, this wasn't unfounded paranoia, but a very real possibility. All right, what's the use of worrying? Even if the sky falls, there will be someone tall enough to hold it up, right? Qing Yun sighed, hiding her anxiety, and winked at Lin Shi. Lin Shi said nothing. This world had nothing to do with him. His only goal was to sever the connection between this world and Earth. The car drove smoothly, and it took them over an hour to reach the airship landing pad. Just as Qing Yun had said, the airship landing pad was built on a grand scale. Arriving here, Lin Shi finally grasped the level of technological advancement in this world, a stark contrast to the dilapidated slums he had seen upon entering the city. As soon as the two entered the building, they didn't even need to move their feet. A conveyor belt carried them to their destination. After going through a series of routine security checks, Lin Shi and Qing Yun were taken by the conveyor belt to the waiting lounge. I can only take you this far, my VIP. Qing Yun looked at Lin Shi with a lingering gaze. In Qing Yun's eyes, Lin Shi was like a miraculous pill she couldn't bear to let go of. After their negotiation yesterday, Qing Yun had already introduced Qing Yi and Qing Er to Lin Shi. Now, Qing Yun simply gave a look, and Lin Shi immediately spotted the two waiting in the grand hall. Got it. See you around. Without looking back, Lin Shi bid Qing Yun farewell and headed toward the waiting lounge. Entering the airport lounge, Lin Shi casually picked a seat. The seats here all had a massage function. Just sitting down allowed one to enjoy a full-body massage. Actually, there were private VIP lounges here, but Lin Shi preferred sitting in the transparent glass hall. He noticed a few suspicious people nearby. Yeah, do we really have to wait here? On the roof of a building near the spaceship landing pad, Lu Fancho and Lu Cheng stood side by side, observing below. A massive spaceship was slowly descending onto the runway. Meanwhile, at another high vantage point, Lu Fancho had arranged for his men to disguise themselves as ordinary tourists. Lying in ambush, they waited for the moment Lin Shi stepped out of the lounge and headed toward the spaceship to deliver a fatal sniper shot. Such a dramatic moment. How could I miss it? Watch closely, son. That brat won't escape after daring to mess with us. His pathetic little life is over. Lu Fancho sneered, his expression ruthless. However, Lu Qing couldn't help but recall the moment he handed the money over to Lin Shi. At that time, the other party exuded an extraordinary aura. That natural composure was definitely not something an ordinary person possessed. He said with a hint of worry, "Dad, don't you think this Qin Shi's background might not be that simple?" He's just a lucky punk." Lu Fancho sneered disdainfully. "This guy has lived in our district for so many years. If he really had some special background, it would have been exposed by now. Why would he stay so quiet and low-key?" To ensure absolutely no mistakes, Lu Fancho had reviewed all of Qin Shi's files multiple times, not even missing trivial details like how many minutes he cried when he was born. After that thorough investigation, Lu Fancho was convinced that Qin Shi's ordinary, unremarkable life couldn't possibly have any backing. He was just someone with a bit of talent and luck. Lu Qing thought for a moment and felt he was worrying too much. After all, with his father's personality and way of doing things, he would never risk doing something he wasn't sure of. Since his father was determined to eliminate Qin Shi, he definitely had his reasons. So, Lu Qing stopped worrying about it and changed the subject. "The spaceship has landed. Qin Shi should be coming out soon. Dad, after our men kill him later, will they be caught by the security here? That would be a huge hassle." "Don't worry, I've calculated everything," Lu Fancho reassured him. "I've already contacted the people here in advance. Later, after our men make their move, someone will immediately cover them and assist their retreat. Once this blows over, I'll find a few unlucky scapegoats to take all the blame." Father is always so thorough. Lu Qing breathed a sigh of relief, feeling he had indeed overthought things. At this moment, Lu Qing's optical brain vibrated slightly. He opened it and saw his teammates contacting him to discuss preparations for tomorrow's field trip. "Leave this place to me. Go if you have things to do. It's just watching a show. It doesn't matter if you don't see it." Lu Qing nodded slightly, bid farewell to Lu Fancho, and went down the building. Not long after Lu Qing left, the spaceship came to a complete stop on the ground. Afterward, a small number of passengers from other districts arriving at New District 9 slowly stepped off the spaceship. Soon after, an announcement echoed through Lin Shi's lounge, notifying passengers to board. Lin Shi, along with Qing Yi and Qing Er, stood up and walked out of the lounge together. The moment he stepped out, Lin Shi immediately felt a wave of killing intent lock onto him. Lin Shi smiled faintly. He had already detected Lu Fancho and the ambushers while still in the lounge. Although there was a mental power warning system here, its sensitivity was far inferior to the central district's. Thanks to his formidable mental power, he easily avoided triggering the system while using a wide-range mental scan. Lin Shi slowed his pace, widening the distance between himself, Qing Yi, and Qing Er. Then, he suddenly stopped and looked up toward the right. A tiny, almost invisible glint of golden light flashed in Lin Shi's eyes. His mental power ability was silently activated, boosted by his enhanced mental strength. This was a new ability Lin Shi had acquired after obtaining Qin Yun's vessel, allowing the treasure bowl to absorb and control mental power. The sniper had Lin Shi perfectly in his crosshairs. Before he could react, the sniper's gaze shifted from determined to vacant. His grip on the laser rifle loosened slightly. In the eyes of others, Lin Shi merely paused for a moment, tilted his head, and then continued walking. Qing Yi and Qing Er noticed nothing unusual. Only Lu Fancho, standing at another high vantage point, saw Lin Shi glance at the sniper's position. His heart skipped a beat. Does this kid have such sharp intuition? But seeing Lin Shi quickly regain his composure and continue toward the spaceship, Lu Fancho breathed a sigh of relief. This time, to ensure no mistakes, Lu Fancho had found a subordinate highly skilled in stealth, possessing a low-tier vessel and level 4 mental power. Even someone with level 5 mental power would find it hard to detect him. Beside the sniper were 2 spotters. Lu Fancho looked at the distance between Lin Shi and the spaceship, counting down the agreed-upon time to shoot. 5, 4, 3. The laser rifle fired silently. The projectile speed was so fast that even mental power struggled to track it. Especially a laser rifle, its power was enough to pierce through a 30-centimeter thick steel plate in the blink of an eye, let alone a human body. A hit would instantly drop a person. A hit to a vital spot meant instant death. But Lu Fancho quickly realized something was wrong. Lin Shi was about to board the spaceship, yet the sniper he deployed hadn't made a move. For safety, Lu Fancho had forbidden the sniper and the other hidden men from bringing their optical brains, so now he had no idea why his subordinate wasn't acting. Lu Fancho's eyes widened in fury. He could barely hold back the urge to use his mental power to signal his subordinate. At the same time, the two spotters next to the sniper were also confused as to why he was hesitating to shoot. Just as they were about to intervene, the sniper suddenly shifted his barrel and quickly pulled the trigger. Immediately after, the sniper retracted his rifle and signaled to the two spotters that the mission was complete. After hitting the target, they needed to retreat immediately. If caught, even Lu Fancho wouldn't be able to save them. The two spotters didn't dare check the target's condition and immediately retreated with the sniper. Little did they know, their comrades' eyes still held a trace of vacancy. Meanwhile, Lin Shi safely boarded the spaceship. However, on the building opposite the spaceship, a marble-sized hole had appeared at some point. Behind that hole lay Lu Fancho, his face still frozen in anger over his subordinate's failure to shoot on time. He lay slumped on the ground, devoid of life. Right in the center of Lu Fancho's forehead was a dark, gaping hole, the exact same size as the one on the building. Lin Shi watched the elevator slowly descend and stepped inside without hesitation. As the elevator went up, his figure gradually disappeared from the landing pad. Right behind him, Qing Yi and Qing Air followed closely. At this moment, the entire spaceship landing pad was eerily quiet. No one knew what had just happened. Because Lu Fancho had chosen a very concealed observation spot, the sudden appearance of a corpse there wasn't discovered by any of the spaceship's staff. It wasn't until early the next morning, when preparing to head to the wasteland, that Lu Cheng realized his father still hadn't returned and couldn't be reached via his optical brain. Sensing something was wrong, he rushed back to the scene of yesterday's incident and, in utter horror, discovered Lu Fancho's cold corpse. The sudden death of Lu Fancho, the commander-in-chief of New District 9's combat team, caused a massive earthquake in New District 9. By this time, Lin Shi was already sitting on a luxurious spaceship, far away from New District 9, and was even approaching New District 7. Dear passengers, our spaceship is about to arrive at New District 7. We are currently less than 100 kilometers from our destination. Passengers disembarking at New District 7, please prepare. Please check your personal belongings to avoid leaving anything behind. If you accidentally drop something, please don't worry. We will safely return it within 7 days. If you require any other services, please contact the spaceship staff. We are dedicated to serving you. The sweet announcement echoed throughout the spaceship's cabin, reminding each passenger preparing to land. The spaceship had private cabins for everyone, each with a transparent window to enjoy the outside view. Lin Shi didn't need to pack anything. He finished the last bit of food on his tray, wiped his mouth, and stood up to leave the room. In the spacious corridor, Qing Yi and Qing Air were already outside, sitting on the waiting chairs for Lin Shi. Seeing Lin Shi arrive, both stood up. Since setting off, Lin Shi had gained a basic understanding of the two. One was skilled at gathering intelligence, especially fragmented information that couldn't be recorded by optical brains, able to find clues from the smallest details. The other excelled at assassination, not only mastering disguise techniques, but also adept at evading surveillance systems to secretly approach targets and complete assassinations. The two could be useful in certain situations, so Lin Shi didn't reject Qin Yun's good intentions. As for whether they were sent by Qin Yun to monitor him, Lin Shi thought the possibility was low. The two of them didn't even have the ability to communicate instantly, as they possessed no communication abilities and were separated from Qin Yun by a vast, desolate plain. Lin Shi decided to let them tag along. The reason wasn't just what was mentioned above. The most important reason was that both of them hailed from New District 7 and were very familiar with the terrain here, especially the complex dark web of New District 7. Speaking of which, one couldn't help but mention a special type of people existing on the Sanlian continent, apart from ordinary people and authority holders, the Blackfeet. They had a more accurate name, the Rootless. The reason they were called this was that they weren't born from a normal pregnancy, nor were they descendants of authority holders born on the mainland. In most cases, they were born from bizarre, illicit personal relationships that couldn't be exposed to the light. These people were often the children of prostitutes or men treated as breeding stock. Not only did they lack names and identities, but they were also unrecognized and unprotected by the federal government. Because of their tainted status, the Blackfeet could only operate in the dark underworld. Many of them never saw the sunlight in their entire lives. The places they survived in were filled with chaos, filth, the stench of blood, and the breath of death. In that dark zone, especially the notorious underground black market of New District 7, human lives were as cheap as dirt, even less valuable than an ordinary civilian's. Death was a common occurrence there. Taking a life was as easy as crushing an ant. As for the Blackfeet, their status in the black market was as low as dust, not even considered human. In the eyes of many, a dog's life in the black market was more precious than a Blackfoot's. Before being bought by Ching Yun, Ching Yi and Ching Air were Blackfeet. The two had survived in the New District 7 black market for 12 years. To be able to survive and leave that place, they must have possessed extraordinary skills. Lin Shi told the two to stay put. I'm going out for a bit. The spaceship was currently a few dozen kilometers away from New District 7, estimated to take over an hour. Lin Shi had just been sitting in the room for too long and wanted to go out for some fresh air. The mental power alarm system on the spaceship was the type used by the federal military, and its sensitivity was not low. Not wanting to invite unnecessary trouble, Lin Shi wisely decided not to use his mental power to scan the area. Master, please wait. There are 7 passengers on this spaceship, and at least 2 of them are from the black market. Ching Yi's lips didn't move, but his voice rang clearly in Lin Shi's ears. Lin Shi frowned, a look of surprise flashing in his eyes. He didn't even know how many passengers were on this ship, as some had boarded much earlier than him. How do you know? Lin Shi asked curiously. The ship's supply cabin only restocks toiletries once. Last night, 10 sets were missing. I sneaked into the supply cabin when no one was looking. Ching Yi explained further. The staff here changes the toiletries for the guests every day. Then how do you know 2 of them are from the black market? Lin Shi continued to ask. I was outside all last night and saw a few guests get off the ship. 2 of them absolutely had the aura of the black market, Ching Yi affirmed. Ching Air, who had remained silent, suddenly spoke up. Someone's coming out. Ching Yi and Ching Air calmly stepped outside. A second later, a door in the corridor opened. 2 ordinary-looking men walked out. They had fierce appearances, looking no different from typical thugs. Seeing them, Ching Yi immediately signaled Lin Shi, confirming these 2 were from the black market. But behind them, 2 more people walked out. Lin Shi looked closely. One man wore sunglasses that covered almost half his face. Even so, Lin Shi could feel an unusual aura radiating from him, especially his exceptionally well-hidden mental power, which had reached level 8. Aside from Ji Shui, this was the second person Lin Shi had met on the Sonlian continent with such powerful mental strength. The other man had a thick scar on his chin and didn't look like someone to be trifled with either. His mental power wasn't weak either, reaching level 7. All 4 exuded a heavy killing intent, especially the man in sunglasses and the scarred man. Since arriving on the Sonlian continent, this was the first time Lin Shi had felt such heavy killing intent from others. If all 4 were from the black market, then the man in sunglasses and the scarred man were very likely leaders or masters of the black market. As if sensing Lin Shi's gaze, the man in sunglasses looked toward him. Lin Shi immediately felt as if he were being stared at by a venomous snake. He didn't react, just slightly averted his eyes. The 4 men left the room without paying much attention to Lin Shi, heading toward the ship's exit. They sat down near the exit, waiting for the ship to land. It seemed their destination was also New District 7. Lin Shi returned to his room and used the treasure bowl to connect with Xia Chun. Before boarding, Lin Shi could still contact Xia Chun, but after boarding, the treasure bowl couldn't connect to him anymore. Still couldn't connect. There were 3 possibilities. One was that Xia Chun didn't have his vessel with him. Without the vessel as a medium, they couldn't connect. There were 2 other possibilities explaining why Xia Chun couldn't be reached. First, his current situation might not allow it, such as being unconscious or in a dangerous place. Second, Xia Chun intentionally didn't want to make contact. If they couldn't connect, then so be it. Lin Shi said. He knew Xia Chun was in trouble and was even being hunted by the new District 7 federal government. Don't worry, once the spaceship lands, I'll use my mental power to find him. I'm not worried. Xia Chun is a level 7 mental power user, after all, Lin Shi said, shaking his head. Besides, Xia Chun came to the Sonlian continent with his own purpose and mission. We agreed before leaving that we'd keep in touch, but act independently. That way, if one person is in danger, the other can still complete the mission. Since we can't reach him, let's just do our own thing. When Xia Chun is done, he'll contact us himself, Lin Shi said. Soon enough, Lin Shi noticed the spaceship was lowering its altitude. He left the room. At the spaceship's exit, two groups of people were already waiting. One group was the four from the black market, and the other was a pair, one large and one small, looking like a father and son. Qing Yi and Qing Er were still in the corridor. Seeing Lin Shi arrive, the three of them walked to the exit together. Just as Lin Shi sat down, the man in sunglasses sitting in front turned around. His gaze swept over Qing Yi and Qing Er, then stopped on Lin Shi's face. Kid, are these two next to you black dogs? This breed is hard to train, you know. The words of the man in sunglasses made Qing Yi and Qing Er stiffen. Clearly, both of them were deeply disgusted and terrified by the term black dog. Lin Shi replied without hesitation, none of your business. This sentence enraged the scarred man next to the man in sunglasses. Do you know who you're talking to? Do you think just because you have level 5 mental power, no one in this world can teach you a lesson? The scarred man looked ferocious, his eyes sharp. The man in sunglasses and the scarred man had very high information access privileges. Just by scanning a face with their optical brains, that person's personal information would instantly appear. Lin Shi's information had obviously been seen by them. The scarred man was furious and immediately released his mental pressure. A powerful level 7 aura surged toward Lin Shi like an invisible torrent. Qing Yi and Qing Er, standing next to Lin Shi, bore the brunt of it. They found it hard to breathe, sweat pouring down like rain, their bodies trembling uncontrollably. Even so, they gritted their teeth and endured it. Only Lin Shi sat there calmly, as if nothing was happening. All right, don't scare the kid. The man in sunglasses spoke up, his tone calm, but carrying an unquestionable authority. Hearing the man in sunglasses, the scarred man reluctantly prepared to withdraw his mental pressure. But just as he was about to retract his mental power, a terrifyingly strong mental force slashed down like a sharp blade, severing his mental connection. The scarred man completely didn't expect this sudden attack. He only had time to let out a cry of pain before his face turned deathly pale, cold sweat breaking out on his forehead. He was clearly severely injured. At the same time, the surrounding air seemed to freeze due to the ripple of that mental power. The father and son sitting further away also noticed the anomaly and glanced over. A mere level 7 using mental power. Don't assume there's no one in this world who can teach you a lesson, Lin Shi retorted coldly, throwing the scarred man's words right back at him. The scarred man, having just suffered a loss, now kept his mouth shut. Even the man in sunglasses didn't say another word. No one knew just how terrified the man in sunglasses and the scarred man were at this moment. Because the strength Lin Shi just displayed completely didn't match the information they had gathered from their optical brains. The man in sunglasses was a level 8 authority holder. Someone who could hide their information right in front of his eyes was practically non-existent. If there was, that person was definitely someone he couldn't afford to offend. Especially Lin Shi, a young man who possessed mental power no weaker than his own. What did this mean? Could the other party be some big shot from the Federal General Bureau? The man in sunglasses and the scarred man exchanged a glance, both seeing the gravity in each other's eyes. At this moment, it was clear the two had completely misunderstood Lin Shi's identity, and that was exactly what Lin Shi wanted. These two were subordinates of the black market, very likely core members. He would have to deal with the black market later, so he couldn't let himself be at a disadvantage right from the start. In just the blink of an eye, Lin Shi not only made the scarred man suffer a loss, but also deeply shocked the father and son observing on the spaceship. The atmosphere in the spaceship fell into an eerie silence. Ah, so little brother is a master. We were blind. After a moment of silence, the man in sunglasses nodded at Lin Shi and turned away without another word. In that eerie silence, the spaceship quickly landed. The man in sunglasses, who was sitting closest to the exit, didn't get off first but stepped aside. He gestured for Lin Shi to disembark first. Lin Shi didn't stand on ceremony and got off the spaceship first with Qing Yi and Qing Air. It was still noon, and the black market only opened in the evening. Lin Shi, along with Qing Yi and Qing Air, found the Starlight Hotel in the area and checked in. Right after Lin Shi checked into the Starlight Hotel, Qing Shi's file appeared in the deepest level of the black market. "Boss, this is that person's detailed file." The scarred man handed over a meticulously prepared file and placed it in front of the man in sunglasses. Just as Lin Shi had guessed, the man in sunglasses was indeed the manager of the black market. The man in sunglasses took off his shades, revealing his eyes. He had heterochromia. One eye was dark brown, the other blue. If he were younger, the man in sunglasses would have been a very handsome man. Unfortunately, his eyes were now surrounded by wrinkles. The man in sunglasses frowned, staring intently at the file the scarred man had prepared. An ordinary file with nothing special about it. Just a dozen seconds later, the man in sunglasses put the file down. "This isn't right. This file is definitely fake." The man in sunglasses said bluntly, "There's nothing unusual in this document. It's just an ordinary life. How could this file belong to that mysterious guy we met on the spaceship? It's simply absurd." He continued, "Just talking about meeting Lin Shi on the spaceship alone, from his gaze to his aura, he's no ordinary person. Not to mention his strength is that terrifying. How could such a powerhouse live peacefully as an ordinary person in the lower levels of New District 9 for so many years?" The scarred man sighed. "Boss, this is all the information I could find using your clearance. This is it." He was also helpless. "This is the first time we've encountered this situation. Normally, either your clearance is high enough to find all the information, or it's too low and you find nothing. Never before have we found information that turned out to be fake. Boss, that person, could he be a level 9? The scarred man was still terrified when recalling Lin Shi's powerful mental force on the spaceship. The man in sunglasses thought for a moment, then shook his head. "Impossible. You want me to believe he's a level 9 mental power user? I'd rather believe he's the director of the Federal General Bureau. Human lifespan is limited. If you don't evolve your physique and only cultivate mental power, you'll only live 100 years. Ordinary people can hardly reach the peak in 100 years, unless they have enough raw materials to evolve their physique to level 4 or above. The raw materials are in the hands of those useless federal higher-ups. They have poor talent and are afraid of death. They waste 90% of the raw materials. That's why for nearly 10,000 years, the Sonlian continent hasn't seen a third level 9 mental power user. There's a massive gap between level 8 and level 9. So many outstanding mental power geniuses stop at level 8, dying without ever breaking through. Some federal scientists claim that without living over 1,000 years, an ordinary genius is almost incapable of breaking through to level 9. Unless it's a once-in-a-millennium genius who can advance with a massive amount of raw materials. Qing Zhao, the most exceptionally talented level 9 mental power user in federal history, was over 200 years old when he broke through to level 9. He only looked younger than his actual age because his physique surpassed level 6. As for the current level 9s, they are all over 400 years old. Saying we met a level 9 mental power user on a spaceship has lower odds than me being elected director of the Federal General Bureau, especially since that person is a young stranger. The man in sunglasses crossed his arms, pondering. That person is probably a level 8 mental power user, but his background isn't as simple as it seems. The scarred man said. So he's a big shot from the Federal General Bureau? Why would someone like that come to New District 7 and casually ride a spaceship like this? Those people from the Federal General Bureau are terrified of dying. Outside of New District 3, they not only refuse to travel, but if they do, they ride their own private spaceships, being overly cautious, terrified of any mishaps. The current federal situation is unstable. The areas outside New District 3 all have intentions of rebelling against the Federal General Bureau. This person is staying at the Starlight Hotel, not the Central District, which proves our guess might be right. All right, let's put this matter aside for now. Speaking of that brat who killed over a dozen of our guests, We've only been gone for a month, and he's turned the whole black market upside down. Have we still not caught him? The man in sunglasses said decisively. The black market detained offending criminals in its dungeon. Stepping inside, an indescribably pungent smell hit you right in the face, a nauseating mix of fresh blood, mold, and rotting flesh. Each cell held people who were filthy all over, covered in injuries, to the point where they barely looked human anymore. Getting closer, you could clearly see these prisoners were covered in wounds of all sizes. Many were deep enough to show bone. Due to a lack of medicine, quite a few wounds had begun to rot, breeding maggots. Some were even severely infected, their entire bodies turning purple, clearly on the verge of death. Some had their limbs broken and were stuffed in here, relying solely on eating the bugs in the dungeon to barely stay alive. Black Market Master. The man in sunglasses and the scarred man walked in. The guard in charge of this dungeon area saw the man in sunglasses and immediately knelt down trembling, saying, "Boss." The other guards also immediately knelt down, quiet as mice. "Is that useless manager locked up here dead yet?" the scarred man asked, his voice full of killing intent. No. We tortured him a bit, but he's still alive. The boss hadn't returned, so how could we dare let him die? The guard hastily shook his head, his body trembling violently. Normally, this guard was like a god in this dungeon. He took pleasure in torturing prisoners. But when the true master of the black market appeared, he didn't dare make a peep. "Lead the way." "Boss, please follow me." The guard hurriedly led the way, bringing the black market master and the scarred man to a cell. "Boss, it's this guy." The black market master frowned. The person in the cell was so skinny he was just skin and bones, like a deflated balloon, indicating he used to be very fat, but had suddenly lost weight to become like this. His body was covered in wounds, many of which were festering. Combined with his filthy body, he emitted a strong stench. This person was originally the manager of the flesh trade on the 6th floor of the black market, known as Hey2. Under his jurisdiction, a thug he raised had killed over a dozen of the black market's entertainment guests. This was an unprecedentedly serious incident in the history of the black market. Worse yet, that thug had escaped the black market. Terrified of the black market master's wrath, this stupid Hey2 had reported the incident to the new District 7 Central Authority. Because of this, a citywide wanted poster was issued. As a result, even after a long time, he still hadn't found that thug. On the contrary, this incident severely damaged the black market's reputation. He was imprisoned a week ago. "Boss, I just dragged this fat pig out and beat him up this morning. Do you want to interrogate him?" "I'll take him to get washed up first," the guard said, rubbing his hands together. The scarred man said, "Take him to the interrogation room." Immediately, after being roughly washed and injected with painkillers, Hey2 was thrown into the interrogation room. Hey2's desperate, dead eyes lit up when he saw the black market master. Boss, you're finally back. Boss, that incident had nothing to do with me." Hey2 howled, trying to crawl in front of the black market master, but was kicked away by the scarred man. Exhausted, Hey2 lay flat on the ground, unable to move. "Shut up. Get lost, you stink," the scarred man said heavily, full of disgust. Hey2 didn't dare move an inch further, just prostrated on the ground, continuously kowtowing and begging. "Boss, spare my life. I really didn't know that kid had such great abilities. He was clearly just a little brat. How could he kill so many guests? This doesn't make sense. Someone must be trying to frame me. They definitely did it on purpose. Boss, you have to seek justice for me." The black market master, the man in sunglasses, took off his shades and looked at Hey2 coldly. "What's that kid's name? Where was he the day of the incident?" "Name? He's called 1136. A 15-year-old kid. He was always obedient before, no different from the other kids. The Blackfeet were assigned numbers from birth. If one died, another replaced that number. And Xiachun's father was exactly 1136. That day, I was resting in my room when I suddenly heard a commotion outside. I heard people screaming. I went out to look and found out many guests had been killed. I immediately called people over to control the scene and chased the other guests away to avoid a bad impact. Then I immediately ordered people to catch number 36. I didn't expect that not long after, I'd be arrested too," the scarred man said coldly. Then do you know that besides the 57 guests, that kid also killed 29 of our top fighters, including a level 5 enforcer who died by his hands? Is this how you manage your subordinates? How could you let this matter reach the Central District? A level 5 enforcer in the black market was a level 5 mental power user. That was the high-end force of the black market. In more backward inner-city areas, a level 5 mental power user was even considered a powerful faction. Yet one died at the hands of an underage Blackfoot. This incident not only caused irreparable losses to the black market, but also caused panic among the people, and made the black market owe the district chief a huge favor. Where did this damn fat pig get the nerve? Hey2 was speechless. He knew if he didn't catch the person, only death awaited him when the black market master returned. He had to take a desperate gamble, but he didn't expect that before the black market master returned, another manager had already reported the incident to the master. Thus, he was locked in the black market's prison ahead of time. Boss, spare my life. I just wanted to resolve this. For the sake of my many years of service to the black market, please let me retire and enjoy my old age. I'll give up this position to someone else. Hey2 kowtowed continuously, now only wanting to keep his miserable life. Retire? A piece of trash like you still has the right to live. The black market master, the man in sunglasses, stood up and walked out of the interrogation room coldly. Right after the man in sunglasses left the interrogation room, a blood-curdling scream rang out. Then it quickly died down. The scarred man stepped out of the interrogation room, went to the black market master's side, and said respectfully, "Boss, leave this guy to me, all right? In a week, I want to see a fresh human pig on my desk. Make sure you do a good job this time. Don't let it rot after a few days." Those who dare cause trouble in the black market have never escaped our pursuit. The more stubborn they are, the sweeter their screams sound when they're turned into human pigs. The scarred man knew the boss liked that and nodded. "Don't worry, boss. I guarantee I'll do a perfect job." The scarred man looked at the guard smiling flatteringly outside the interrogation room, a cruel glint flashing in his eyes. "Go clean up the interrogation room." The guard trembled, his face stiffening, his voice shaking. Night fell on New District 7, eerily quiet. Only those with deep pockets were active at night, not ordinary people busy with work all day. Therefore, the residential areas were so deserted that the streets were desolate, with very few passers-by. Lin Shi, along with Ching Yi and Ching Er, finished dinner and left the Starlight Hotel in the hotel's private car. Following Ching Yi's directions, the driver headed straight for the entrance of the black market. He clearly knew where Lin Shi and the other two were going. When Lin Shi and his two subordinates got out of the car, the driver reminded them, "Dear guest, once you enter the black market, your safety will no longer be guaranteed by the hotel. Please be extremely careful." Lin Shi thanked the driver and told him to return to the hotel and contact the receptionist via optical brain before leaving. At this moment, Lin Shi's location was in the eastern part of New District 7, near a desolate wasteland. There was no one living for several kilometers around. Only a building called the Supplies Supermarket a few hundred meters away. But beneath Lin Shi's feet lay a massive underground fortress. Noticing Lin Shi using his mental power, Ching Yi warned, "Master, be careful. The black market has many places equipped with military-grade mental power alarms." Lin Shi nodded, indicating he understood. In places like this, it would be unimaginable not to have mental power alarms. Ching Yi continued, "I heard that 10,000 years ago, this underground area was the Federal Reserve and Headquarters Fortress. Later, the Federation built a new underground fortress in New District 1, so this place was abandoned. The first master of the black market obtained the right to use this underground fortress and built the black market we see today. Legend has it that the person was the Federation's god of war at the time, and also the first level 9 mental power user in federal history, Qing Zhao, 10,000 years ago. Quite a long history. But how could the Federation allow such a powerful person to create a faction like the black market? Lin Shi was a bit surprised to hear Qing Zhao's name. He had been following Qing Zhao around doing experiments all day, becoming a research fanatic, but had no idea about this information. Qing Yi continued, "That's just a legend. In reality, the true master behind the black market, just like the Starlight Hotel, is unknown to anyone. In fact, The black market is even more mysterious than Starlight. Some even say the person behind the black market is the director of the Federation. After all, to be able to operate underground right under the Federation's nose until now. If you say it has nothing to do with the federal higher-ups, only a fool would believe it. Lin Shi nodded, agreeing with Qing Yi's speculation. The three arrived at the entrance of the supplies supermarket. Qing Yi set a black market passcode to the cashier while showing an unnamed card. The cashier immediately smiled brightly and signaled a beautiful saleswoman in the supermarket. Please take these 3 VIPs downstairs. The beautiful saleswoman in uniform immediately came to Qing Yi's side. What can I help you 3 VIPs with? Knowing Lin Shi was here to buy things, Qing Yi tactfully distanced himself from the woman and said, "We're here to buy rare items. You 3 came at the right time. There's an auction on the new floor tonight. Please follow me." The woman swayed her hips, leading the 3 to the back of the supermarket, where there was an automatic door. Behind the door was an elevator. The woman pressed the down button, and the elevator began to descend. At the same time, she took out 3 masks and handed them to the 3 men. These are masks that can block the observation of anyone with mental power below level 8. If you don't want others to see your faces, you can wear them. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. Lin Shi guessed that in these kinds of auctions in the Central District, many people wore masks. If he didn't wear one, he'd stand out like a sore thumb. So he took one and put it on. The mask covered his entire face, with a small button at the top to reveal the mouth. Qing Yi and Qing Er also put on their masks. Soon, the elevator doors opened. A luxurious, dazzlingly golden corridor appeared before their eyes. 2 rows of women in various outfits stood there, along with a few cute, neatly dressed young boys. When Lin Shi and the other 2 stepped out of the elevator, the 3 women on the left, from the first to the 3rd position, bowed and said in unison, "Good evening, esteemed guests." After speaking, they approached Lin Shi, Qing Yi, and Qing Er. One woman even took the initiative to get close to Lin Shi. Qing Yi whispered, "Master, anyone who fancies these women can take them away as they please." Lin Shi slightly leaned away to avoid physical contact with the woman and said, "No need." Qing Yi immediately signaled the woman to step back. Lin Shi noticed that when the woman backed away, a young boy nearby looked visibly excited. This made Lin Shi a bit uncomfortable. Ahem. A neatly dressed middle-aged man quickly approached, bowed to the 3, and said, "Good evening, 3 esteemed guests. The auction is about to begin. Please follow me." Lin Shi followed the middle-aged man down a long corridor to an auction hall. After sitting down, someone handed Lin Shi a paddle with the number 103 on it. Qing Yi explained, "Master, this is called an auction paddle. When you see an item you like, use this to bid." The black market sold the rarest items in the world. We came at the right time. The auctions here usually happen once a month. Lin Shi frowned, understanding. The auction rules here were similar to those on Earth, just that he had never personally participated in one on Earth. This was his first time. He came here to see if the black market sold the type of explosives he needed. Earlier, Lin Shi had asked Qing Yi, and Qing Yi said that although they were from the black market, not everyone knew every level of it. So he wasn't entirely sure. He only knew the items in the black market were very diverse and could have anything. Lin Shi looked around and saw that almost everyone was wearing masks. The masks were all miniatures of wild beasts, looking quite ferocious. Looking around, he felt like the whole auction was filled with demons and monsters. Only a few hostesses and serving staff walking among the guests weren't wearing masks. One look and you could tell who was from the black market and who wasn't. Lin Shi was quickly served wine and some unique snacks, things he had never seen before. Having just eaten dinner, Lin Shi only glanced at them before focusing on the auction stage. He saw someone walk onto the stage. The auction was about to begin. A man in a black tuxedo with a handlebar mustache stepped up to the auction block, bowed to the audience, and said, "Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I am the host for tonight's auction. It's a pleasure to see you all here. I'm sure everyone has been looking forward to this for a long time. So, let's not waste any words. Let's get straight to the main event tonight." The auctioneer clapped his hands. A diamond-shaped pedestal covered with a red cloth rose from the center of the auction block. This is the first item up for bid tonight, and also one of the main highlights of this auction. The auctioneer pulled off the red cloth, revealing a sparkling, transparent crystal inside. This wasteland crystal was clearly much larger than the one Lin Shi used to have. Illuminated by the lights, the brilliant glow of the wasteland crystal drew everyone's eyes. This is a level 3 wasteland crystal, retrieved from the dangerous wilderness. It contains massive energy. Just by possessing it and finding a vessel crafter, you will gain unimaginable power. The starting price for this wasteland crystal is 3 million federal credits. 3 million federal credits was just the starting price. As soon as the auction officially began, people in the room continuously raised their paddles. In no time, the price of the wasteland crystal reached 6 million, 6.2 million, 6.3 million, 7 million. At this price, the number of bidders noticeably decreased. Finally, the wasteland crystal was sold for 7.8 million to the person with paddle number 9888. Lin Shi remembered he had sold his level 1 wasteland crystal to a purchasing shop for 1 million federal credits. He really sold it too cheap. After the first wasteland crystal was sold, 3 more were put up for auction. However, these 3 were all level 2 wasteland crystals and were sold for 3.8 million, 3.6 million, and 4 million. Seeing the auction's atmosphere heating up, the auctioneer clapped his hands and introduced another item. The next auction item is a newly researched and invented special weapon by the Federation. It hasn't been widely equipped in the military yet, but you all have the chance to own this rare item at our black market auction. The Wasteland-breaking lightsaber 2.0. Please watch the demonstration. Amidst the murmurs, a man wearing the auction's uniform stepped onto the stage. In his hand, he held a strange item, an exquisite sword hilt with no blade. It looked very mysterious. All eyes were fixed on him and that strange item. At the auctioneer's signal, the man carefully touched the bottom of the hilt. Instantly, a blinding blue laser shot out from the end of the hilt like lightning, like a ray of dawn tearing through the darkness. In a split second, that beam of light transformed into a brilliant blue lightsaber, radiating a terrifying aura. Right after, a half-meter-thick alloy plate was slowly raised onto the auction stage. It looked like an impenetrable fortress, standing silently, seemingly showing off its hardness and durability. But at this moment, the man holding the lightsaber let out a low shout, suddenly swung his arm, and the lightsaber slashed down on the alloy plate with terrifying speed. The crowd barely had time to react. They only saw a blinding flash of light. When they regained their senses, they were shocked to find that the originally intact alloy plate had been sliced in half. The cut was perfectly straight and smooth, as if severed by an incredibly sharp blade. The entire auction hall suddenly fell silent. This is grade 5 alloy, isn't it? This type of alloy had a hardness far superior to most other materials. Being able to slice through such hard alloy showed the terrifying, offensive power of this lightsaber. Our staff has personally tested it. They used this lightsaber to easily cut through the unbreakable outer shell of a level 5 wasteland beast. But that's not the limit of this weapon's capabilities. In fact, the most special thing about this lightsaber lies in its miraculous property. No matter how much energy is inputted, it can unleash a corresponding attack. Not only that, the length of the blade can be adjusted at will, extending up to 5 meters depending on your needs. It can deliver a fatal blow when attacking and provide reliable defense when defending. At this moment, a voice from the audience asked, "So what is the required energy source?" The auctioneer carefully pointed to an inconspicuous small hole at the bottom of the hilt, his voice a bit dry as he said, "Everyone, look here. The reason this lightsaber is so powerful lies in the secret hidden in this small hole." Everyone looked in the direction of his finger and saw a faint light flickering in the small hole, seemingly containing endless energy. This lightsaber uses an energy source everyone knows: wasteland crystals. Each use requires placing a wasteland crystal inside. Just one level 1 wasteland crystal is enough for this sword to unleash terrifying power. It can easily slice 10 level 1 wasteland beasts to death. Furthermore, if you use a higher level wasteland crystal as the energy source, this sword will unleash even greater offensive power and higher durability. The auctioneer's words were like a thunderclap among the crowd, causing a massive uproar. Wasteland crystals were already scarce resources with sky-high prices, Yet for this weapon, they were merely consumable items. This was truly unbelievable. The starting price is 2 million federal credits. Let the bidding begin. After the auctioneer finished speaking, the auction hall fell into a brief silence. No one bid. Was this a joke? How could most of the people attending this auction personally go into the dangerous wilderness to hunt those ferocious wasteland beasts? If it was just for daily self-defense, wouldn't a ranged weapon be better? Who would choose close-quarters combat? Even when hunting beasts in the wilderness, using mental power to subdue them was common knowledge for all humanity on the Somnian continent. Who would be stupid enough to use their fragile, paper-thin bodies to fight wasteland beasts hand-to-hand? Did they have a death wish? More importantly, this weapon required consuming incredibly precious wasteland crystals. Even the poorest person here had at least a few 100 million federal credits. But still, no one was willing to be so wasteful. Seeing no one bidding, the auctioneer's face showed a hint of awkwardness, but he quickly hid it. Before the auction, he knew this item might face this outcome. In fact, this wasn't the first time this lightsaber had been passed over. The previous starting price was 5 million federal credits, now reduced to 2 million. The client selling this lightsaber had lowered the price to the absolute minimum. As long as it sold, their black market would easily make 1 million federal credits. And the auctioneer himself would receive a commission of 200,000 federal credits. So he still tried his best. This is a rare treasure sword. Even if not used for combat, it's very suitable just for display. It can be said to be the strongest melee weapon currently in the Federation. It only needs a high-level wasteland crystal to activate. But no matter how well the auctioneer advertised it, no one in the audience placed a bid. A high-level wasteland crystal was better used to make a vessel than as a consumable item. Were they stupid? Seeing that truly no one was bidding, the auctioneer couldn't help but sigh, preparing to declare it unsold. But right at that moment, the sharp-eyed auctioneer noticed the owner of paddle number 103 in the audience raise his sign. 2 million. The auctioneer was now like a man lost in the desert for 3 days, suddenly finding an oasis. His eyes lit up, his face showing surprise, and he hurriedly said, 2 million going once, 2 million going twice, 2 million going 3 times. Sold. Congratulations to our esteemed guest. The auctioneer's speed was 3 times faster than normal, decisive and crisp. He was afraid that if he delayed, the buyer would regret it. The one who raised paddle number 103 was, of course, Lin Shi. Lin Shi didn't have that much money. But Qingyun did. He was very interested in this lightsaber. 2 million federal credits wasn't much. At worst, he'd just give Qingyun another gene pill later. He guaranteed she'd be thrilled for this amount of money. Not long after, a servant brought a tray with the lightsaber to Lin Shi, along with a case. Lin Shi saw that others buying items all used unregistered cards, just swiping them and being done with it. No one here was foolish enough to use a personal card. Even brainwaves had no signal here. Qing-Yi directly handed the card to the servant. The servant checked the balance, bowed, and took his leave. Lin Shi placed the lightsaber in the case and had Qing-Er hold it. He continued to watch the next auction items. Please look at our next auction item, a low-tier vessel. Please direct your attention to the stage. When a classic vessel appeared on stage, the atmosphere in the auction hall instantly reached a climax. Clearly, a complete vessel was much more popular than a wasteland crystal. Lin Shi watched the price of this low-tier vessel jump from 2 million to 16 million federal credits, and it still hadn't stopped. However, it was just a single-function vessel with a capacity of only a dozen square meters. 20 million. A gruff voice rang out. It silenced all other voices, causing the bidding to pause. It was the owner of paddle number 3. This time, no one else bid. 20 million for a single-function, low-tier vessel. This price was already the limit. The vessel ultimately went to number 3. Next was another low-tier vessel, similar to the last. It was also sold at an exorbitant price. This time, the vessel had an added function to assist in enhancing mental power. The price was pushed up to 32 million. Lin Shi rubbed his fingers, feeling he had found an opportunity to get rich on the Somnian continent. He knew how to craft vessels too. The materials for crafting vessels weren't expensive, only the wasteland crystals were a bit pricey. But after crafting, the value increased tenfold, truly a massive profit. With the experience accumulated from Qing Zhao, Lin Shi was confident he could control the functions and make the vessels even more exquisite. Lin Shi didn't make a move on the subsequent auction items. Not because he lacked money, but because these low-tier vessels completely failed to catch his eye. The craftsmanship was too crude. Even Qing Zhao would have criticized them if he saw them. The auction quickly drew to a close. Today's auction hadn't had any surprisingly unexpected items. Next was the final item, and also the most anticipated one of this auction. The auctioneer took a tablet from a servant and enlarged the image onto the screen. This is an invention by the black market's scientific research team. The Wasteland-Breaking Bomb 6.0, a new high-energy weapon. Its actual power is enough to destroy 1/3 of the inner city. The center of the explosion can impact underground areas hundreds of meters deep. Hiss. Someone took a sharp breath. Some even jumped up from their seats. The pupils behind Lin Shi's mask flashed. It's here. This is exactly what I need. But Lin Shi didn't have that much money. Even if he turned Qing Yun upside down and bankrupted that woman, he probably couldn't scrape together $1 billion. Moreover, that was just the starting price. It seemed he had to find a way to make some money. If the black market's research facility could make one such energy bomb, they could make two. Lin Shi wasn't afraid that he'd have the money, but they wouldn't sell it to him. If the soft approach didn't work, he could always use the hard way. Confirming that the item he needed was here meant this trip wasn't in vain. The auctioneer was very satisfied with everyone's reaction. He said in a deep voice, "I will present the detailed technical specifications of this auction item. Currently, we only have this one single item. There is no ready stock. We are only taking orders. The starting price is 1 billion federal credits. Let the bidding begin." As soon as the bidding started, someone immediately couldn't wait to call out a price. "I bid 1.5 billion. I bid 2 billion. 2.5 billion. Many people participated in the bidding. Among them, numbers 3, 7, and 11 had calm voices and decisive tones, showing their determination to get this item. Lin Shi observed the bidders. The black market dared to sell this kind of strategic weapon, and there were people who dared to buy it. This proved that the bidders were very likely those who held power in various districts. At the same time, this was also a secret deal between the black market and these people. Even without seeing their faces, Lin Shi could temporarily memorize their voices. The next time he heard them, he would definitely recognize them by their timbre. Very quickly, the price of the new high-energy wasteland-destroying bomb had reached 5 billion, and there was still no sign of stopping. Until a voice rang out, 10 billion. It was bidder number 3. Bidder number 3 offered the astronomical price of 10 billion with an unquestionable tone. In the end, this auction item went to the owner of number 3. Lin Shi saw with his own eyes the attendant taking 10 billion Federation credits from number 3's unregistered card. The auction ended after the final item was sold. Most people in the auction house focused their eyes on the owner of number 3. In those eyes, there was awe, hidden malice, and unconcealed jealousy. Clearly, the person who successfully bid 10 billion at seat number 3 had attracted the attention of quite a few people. Lin Shi strolled around this floor with Qing Yi and Qing Air. Besides the auction house, this floor also had a large commercial area selling all kinds of goods. There were wasteland crystals, the long-range laser weapons Lin Shi had seen in the new 9th district, and some other electronic devices. The guiding attendant said that over here, as long as you had money, even outsiders could rent a temporary stall to sell explosives. However, the quality of goods at private stalls wasn't guaranteed, but the prices were cheaper than the black market's official stores. The official black market stores all had their own signs, making them easy to distinguish. Lin Shi walked around and bought some vessel crafting materials at a black market stall. Qing Yi and Qing Air followed behind Lin Shi, not knowing what he bought these materials for, but they didn't dare to ask too much. They obediently followed behind, helping Lin Shi carry the items. Before long, Lin Shi had spent all the Federation credits he brought. His capital wasn't much, and buying a few materials wiped it clean. Let's go back. Lin Shi returned to the hotel with Qing Yi and Qing Air. The hotel was only booked for one night, so as soon as he returned, Lin Shi immediately used his light brain to contact Qing Yun. It was already late at night. On the light brain screen, Qing Yun was clearly fast asleep. If someone else disturbed her sleep, Qing Yun would definitely fly into a rage. But since it was her adoptive father, Lin Shi, even if she was woken up, she didn't dare show the slightest bit of anger. How is it? You've arrived at District 7, right? It's so late. Do you want to see me? Qing Yun wore an outfit that revealed her snow-white skin, striking a provocative pose. Lin Shi got straight to the point. Give me some Federation credits. Didn't I have Qing Yi bring you 2 million Federation credits? Qing Yun asked suspiciously. It's all gone. How much more do you need? Hearing Lin Shi say he had spent 2 million Federation credits on his first day at the black market, Qing Yun on the light-brain screen hurriedly checked the assets under her name. Fortunately, she still had over 40 million Federation credits under her name, enough for this adoptive father to spend for a while. Lin Shi spoke up. I need to make some equipment. Looking at the prices in the black market, it'll probably cost around 50 million Federation credits. What? Qing Yun's beautiful eyes widened, her voice stuttering. Lin Shi repeated, 50 million. 10 pills. Adoptive father, I'll transfer 50 million to you right away. I'll go borrow whatever is missing. Before dawn, she definitely had to gather this amount of money. Lin Shi hung up. The initial money problem was solved. Lin Shi used this money to purchase equipment for crafting vessels. It wasn't that Lin Shi didn't want to make bombs himself, but Qing Zhou had never learned any knowledge in this field. Crafting such highly lethal thermal weapons could only be done by the specialized departments of the Federation Scientific Research Institute. Those people were bound by confidentiality regulations and couldn't leave the underground fortress of District 1, which was in a different area from Qing Zhou and his people. Moreover, the high explosive materials Lin Shi needed. Even if he had the skills, he couldn't manufacture them alone. As for directly robbing them, he didn't even know where the stuff was. Where would he rob it? They could easily blow him away with a single shot, sending him straight to the afterlife. Or for him alone, in this world full of high-tech thermal weapons, to take over a black market capable of cooperating with various military districts. The difficulty of that, just thinking about it, was far greater than crafting a batch of vessels. As for asking Qing Yun for 10 billion, a little thought made it clear that such a massive, astronomical sum wasn't something someone of Qing Yun's level could afford. The next morning, Lin Shi indeed received the 50 million Federation credits transferred by Qing Yun. Lin Shi, along with Qing Yi and Qing Er, quickly left the hotel room, simultaneously ordering Qing Yi to quickly find a hideout in the new 7th district. The interior space had to be spacious. This place was going to become Lin Shi's dedicated laboratory for crafting vessels. Qing Yi demonstrated excellent execution skills, finding a place that met Lin Shi's requirements in just one afternoon, an independent villa. This villa had 4 floors, 3 above ground and 1 basement. The large space perfectly met Lin Shi's needs. Furthermore, the villa had solid outer walls and a perfect anti-intrusion system. What surprised Lin Shi was that a villa with such good conditions had an incredibly reasonable rent. It only cost 100,000 Federation credits per month. Hearing this price, Lin Shi finally understood just how expensive the Star Brilliance hotel room was. In reality, ordinary people working in Federation factories wouldn't earn 100,000 Federation credits even after working for many years. Because apart from their basic salary, they had to deduct food, clothing, rent, electricity, TV usage fees, and countless other expenses. For Lin Shi, 100,000 credits was just pocket change. He immediately agreed to sign a 3-month lease. After finding the laboratory, at dusk, Lin Shi made another trip to the black market. He directly bought the necessary tools for crafting vessels on the 10th floor, as he had inquired about yesterday, and quickly wiped out the 50 million Federation credits he had just received. After checking the tools, Lin Shi stored them in his spatial storage. Here, owning a spatial storage device capable of storing items was a symbol of the wealthy. Therefore, Lin Shi's use of spatial storage didn't cause too much of a stir, but instead made the people in the black market respect him even more. Not long after Lin Shi left the black market, Bao Lai, the master of the black market, the man in sunglasses Lin Shi had met on the airship, received a report from his subordinate. Boss, that person bought some tools and left. The black market couldn't possibly escape Bao Lai's sight. From the moment Lin Shi stepped into the black market's surface-level supply supermarket, his distinct facial features were accurately recorded by the supermarket's surveillance system and quickly transmitted to Bao Lai's light brain. Bao Lai remembered him well, because ever since their confrontation on the airship, Bao Lai had marked Lin Shi's face at the highest alert level. Therefore, all of Lin Shi's actions in the black market were tracked by the black market's special surveillance equipment, and many black market personnel were also patrolling and monitoring him. Although he was someone with keen spiritual perception, these people in charge of monitoring were very professional. They only observed the target with their peripheral vision, absolutely not revealing any killing intent or malice, and they wouldn't observe the target for more than a second. After compiling Lin Shi's reactions at the auction, the people he contacted, and what he did today in the black market, these people reported everything back to Bao Lai. Hearing this, Bao Lai frowned. You're saying these tools put together are used to craft vessels? He also bought some other vessel crafting materials yesterday. Yes, boss. This person buying these things, the probability of it being for crafting vessels is 98.74%. The probability of it being for other purposes is 1.26%. The subordinate calculated the odds after analyzing Lin Shi's intentions. This was the analysis result of the specialized team in the black market, which was extremely accurate. So, this person intends to craft vessels, Bao Lai said. The subordinate immediately replied, the information on this person isn't detailed enough. Currently, we can't analyze whether he has a whole crafting team or if he can make vessels by himself. The difficulty of crafting vessels was known to all. Ever since the research of the genius vessel crafter Qing Zhou was stolen, causing the research project to be interrupted and stalled 10,000 years ago, people had only relied on the data Qing Zhou left at the Scientific Research Institute back then to research and improve. It took 10,000 years to reach the current level. But this core technology was still in the hands of the Federation headquarters. The black market could currently only produce low-level vessels. Ordinary people who wanted good vessels had to submit wasteland crystals in exchange for contribution points to trade at Federation agencies. Bao Lai tapped the table, becoming even more convinced in his heart that Lin Shi was someone from the Federation headquarters. Bao Lai didn't understand why someone from the Federation headquarters would appear here at this time. Could it be because of the high-energy bomb auction just now? Or had the Federation discovered something? But Bao Lai knew Lin Shi was just one person, accompanied by two subordinates. He couldn't possibly have a whole team. Especially in the new 7th district, there couldn't be any vessel crafting team that he didn't know about. But one person crafting vessels was too unbelievable. Who could complete such an exquisite vessel crafting process all by themselves? All right, step down. If this person comes again, remember not to offend him. Monitor his every move and report back to me immediately. Yes, boss. After the subordinate left, Bao Lai opened a secret door in the room and walked inside. There was an elevator leading down. Bao Lai took the elevator down more than 1,000 meters underground. This was the core of the black market, its self-built laboratory. A researcher holding a small box of wasteland crystals walked past Bao Lai. Seeing the master of the black market, this person only nodded slightly and hurried away. In that box, there were at least over a dozen wasteland crystals. Seeing such a disrespectful attitude, Bao Lai wasn't angry at all. He let the person go and walked calmly in another direction. Soon, Bao Lai arrived at a massive laboratory. There were several hundred researchers working frantically on something here. Occasionally, an angry old man could be heard shouting, "Failed again. How do you people work? I told you, you have to be careful every step of the way. Are you deaf? Damn it, what are you doing? How are you extracting that? Do you know the margin of error? A 1% error will drop the success rate from 5% to 4%. Seeing Bao Lai arrive, the old man couldn't help but say, "What are you doing here? If you've crafted any vessels, report to me immediately." Elder Bai, I came to ask you a question. Being treated with such impatience, Bao Lai still wasn't angry. He had no choice. The person in front of him was the best vessel crafter he could find outside the Federation headquarters. Whether it was Elder Bai or his team, Bao Lai didn't dare treat them like subordinates. Otherwise, this grumpy old man could go on strike at any moment. If you have something to ask, hurry up. Can't you see I'm busy? Bao Lai opened Lin Shi's photo on his light brain and asked Elder Bai, "Take a look. Do you know this person?" "Who is this?" Elder Bai stared at the photo, looking at Bao Lai suspiciously. "I don't recognize him. Who is it?" I suspect this person can craft vessels himself, so I wanted to ask if he's from the Federation Scientific Research Institute. Bao Lai probed. Elder Bai used to work at the Federation Scientific Research Institute and was treated very unfairly. Later, he managed to escape with great difficulty, and since then, he hated the people in the institute to the bone. Just him? A wet behind the ears brat wants to make vessels? Do you think just anyone can make vessels? Elder Bai snorted disdainfully, saying sarcastically, or did you run into some scammer claiming he can make vessels, and you think my skills aren't good enough? Bao Lai waved his hands repeatedly. Elder Bai said decisively, this person is absolutely not from the former Federation Scientific Research Institute. As for the current Federation Scientific Research Institute, I don't know. Ever since that guy who could make high-level vessels disappeared from the institute a few years ago, the Federation Scientific Research Institute has had a hard time finding anyone who can craft vessels themselves. They're all using old stuff. The way I see it, the Federation Scientific Research Institute exists in name only. If you want to find a young person to replace me, don't do something so stupid. I wouldn't dare. I guarantee I absolutely have no such intention. Bao Lai didn't dare ask anymore, afraid this old man would quit. In reality, Bao Lai did have that intention. If the black market could mass-produce mid-level vessels, it would absolutely reach another peak. Returning to his office, Bao Lai thought for a moment and then called the head of the new 7th district. Lin Shi brought the tools back to the villa, but wasn't in a hurry to set up the laboratory because he was currently missing an important material for crafting vessels. Well, this is easy, Lin Shi said to Qing Yi and Qing Er, who were always closely following him. I'm going out for a few days. You two just stay here for the next few days. To move freely, Lin Shi had to make a trip to the wilderness. To avoid being restricted, he didn't want to bring the two of them. Lin Shi was currently the master of Qing Yi and Qing Er. They could only obey orders. The next morning, Lin Shi left his light brain in the villa room, wore his ID card, and left New District 7. Stepping into the wilderness without technology and surveillance cameras, with no one around to monitor him, Lin Shi felt much more relaxed, as if returning to the days of hunting on Blue Star. It was a pity he didn't have Wang Kai by his side, completely unrestrained. Lin Shi's spiritual power radiated out like waves, instantly locking onto his first target. Wasteland beasts inherently couldn't be detected by spiritual power, but they were heavy. Just by paying attention to a few small details, he could guess their locations. Sprinting close to the wasteland beast, without even needing to determine its level, Lin Shi's hand flashed, and a sharp, giant axe appeared. While running, Lin Shi stomped hard on the ground, borrowing the reactionary force to shoot up like an arrow. The giant axe in his hand drew a brilliant arc of light in the air, seemingly wanting to tear through the void, slashing down toward the wasteland beast with terrifying speed. In the blink of an eye, that streak of light flashed across the wasteland beast's massive body, accompanied by a tragic roar. Immediately after, Lin Shi landed and retracted the giant axe. The entire movement was decisive and practiced. A few breaths after Lin Shi landed, the wasteland beast behind him crashed down with a boom. It had been a long time since he had a battle like this. This feeling made Lin Shi feel like he was back in the days when one man and one dog swept through the primeval beasts on Blue Star. Not only did he get to stretch his muscles, but it also brought an indescribable feeling. He used a Genesis Chi dagger to cut open the wasteland beast's head, but didn't find a wasteland crystal. The rarity of wasteland crystals was known to everyone on the Somnian continent, so Lin Shi wasn't disappointed and continued searching for another wasteland beast. Before long, Lin Shi had used the giant axe to kill his 6th wasteland beast. Fortunately, inside the body of the 6th wasteland beast, Lin Shi found a wasteland crystal. This was a Tier 3 wasteland beast, so the wasteland crystal in his hand was also Tier 3. Not bad, considered a good start. Lin Shi satisfyingly put the wasteland crystal into his pocket. In less than an hour, he had obtained a wasteland crystal, and it was a Tier 3 wasteland crystal worth over 7 million. Lin Shi suddenly felt that making money in this federation was too easy. At this rate, wouldn't he soon earn tens of millions of Federation credits? But only Lin Shi dared to think this way. When ordinary people went hunting, who didn't bring a team? They also had to be cautious, using tools to determine the wasteland beast's level from afar. They also had to find solitary wasteland beasts. If it wasn't a suitable target, they had to leave quickly. Even if they found a suitable target, it required many people working together to kill it, which wasted time and affected efficiency. No one could be like Lin Shi, not needing to choose the wasteland beast's level. Seeing one meant killing it, an instant one-strike kill. He even deliberately looked for wasteland beasts that weren't solitary to kill several at once. Because of this efficiency, before noon, Lin Shi had killed over 50 wasteland beasts and harvested 6 wasteland crystals. Specifically, 2 Tier 1, 2 Tier 2, and 2 Tier 3 crystals. A squad from the 7th Combat Team of the new 7th District was also hunting in the wilderness. They had been out for several days. Due to an accident during a hunt, the captain damaged his light brain in battle, causing the group to almost get lost. Getting lost in the wilderness was a matter of life and death. Fortunately, a logistics member brought a paper map when they set out. But these people, who had never seen a paper map, kept walking the wrong way. This squad arrived at the place where Lin Shi had hunted the wasteland beasts. A squad member pointed at the wasteland beast corpses as massive as small hills in the distance and said in shock, "Captain, look quickly. What is that? Is that a herd of wasteland beasts?" Everyone's heart jolted, ready to turn and run. But a sharp-eyed squad member said, "Those wasteland beasts seem to be sleeping. They don't seem to be moving." The captain immediately stopped, pointed at a logistics member in the squad, and said, "You, go check the situation." The designated logistics member looked terrified, repeatedly shaking his head and backing away. "Captain, I can't. If they're real wasteland beasts, I'll die." Another squad member shoved the rustic logistics member hard. "If you don't go, we'll leave you here to die right now." "I'll go." The logistics member wore an expression uglier than crying, dragging his feet toward the pile of beast corpses. Soon, he discovered that these wasteland beasts didn't react at all when he approached. A few minutes later, the logistics member screamed, "Oh my God! All the wasteland beasts are dead." The squad captain and the other members also arrived. "They're really dead. Captain, these wasteland beasts seem to have been slashed open by a very large weapon." Immediately, a squad member noticed the smooth, uniform cuts on the beast corpses. "Captain, this is a Tier 3 wasteland beast. This one too." Good heavens, did the commander-in-chief take action? To wipe out a whole herd of over a dozen Tier 3 wasteland beasts like this? A squad member exclaimed in shock, his eyes full of admiration. But the squad captain quickly noticed something unusual, his face looking like he had seen a ghost as he said, No, it's not the commander-in-chief. These wasteland beasts weren't killed by spiritual energy, but slashed. Yes, they were slashed. It wasn't the commander-in-chief. Besides, before we set out, we didn't hear any news about the commander-in-chief personally going hunting. Who is this? Is there anyone in our new 7th district stronger than the commander-in-chief? The group looked at each other, all seeing the horror and disbelief in each other's eyes. Especially when looking closely at the cuts on the beast corpses, it was clearly a fatal one-strike blow, making it even more unbelievable. What kind of weapon could easily slice through things harder than alloy plates like this? What kind of person could wield a melee weapon against a whole herd of wasteland beasts? With so many wasteland beasts, was it ultimately killed by one person or a group of people? A series of baffling questions swirled in everyone's minds, impossible to shake off. The more they thought about it, the more terrified they became. This kind of fear wasn't ordinary fear or worry, but an instinctive dread facing a terrifying existence beyond their comprehension. "Bring these wasteland beast skins back," the squad captain finally spoke up. "These Tier 3 wasteland beast skins can be sold for at least 200,000 to 300,000 Federation credits when brought back." So everyone got to work. And when these wasteland beast skins were brought back to the new 7th district, those cuts caused another wave of shock in the district. As for Lin Shi, the person who brought them that terrifying dread, he had gone far away, heading toward a denser herd of wasteland beasts. 2 days later, Lin Shi held his ID card and returned to the new 7th district. He came back exactly as he had left. Even his clothes were still clean, without a single wrinkle. Initially, when Lin Shi left the city, the guard swiped his ID card and knew he was someone with Tier 5 spiritual power. They thought this big shot would have a huge harvest going out into the wilderness. Unexpectedly, Lin Shi returned empty-handed, not even bringing back a single tier 1 wasteland beast skin. After Lin Shi entered the city, the two guards couldn't help but whisper to each other. What the big shots are thinking is really hard to guess. Going out for 2 days was just taking a stroll in the wasteland. Another guard glared. Don't talk nonsense. How can we guess what the big shot is thinking? The big shot's spiritual power is so strong. If he hears us talking trash, aren't we just asking for trouble? Right, you're right. Lin Shi naturally didn't pay attention to the two guards' idle gossip. Entering the city, he immediately returned to the rented villa. Qing Yi and Qing Er were both in the villa. Initially, the two were very worried because Lin Shi went into the wasteland. They worried Lin Shi wouldn't return, and then they would have no way to report to Qing Yun. Seeing Lin Shi return, the two were overjoyed. Even the usually quiet Qing Er stepped forward to check if Lin Shi was injured. Master, you've returned. Lin Shi nodded and asked about the situation during his 2-day absence. Qing Er didn't say anything. Qing, he had a discovery. We found people monitoring around the villa. Most are from the central district, and a few belong to the black market. It's fine. As long as they don't attack, just ignore them. Lin Shi chose the largest room in the villa, took out the tools bought from the black market from his spatial storage, and set it up as a laboratory. Instructing Qing Yi and Qing Er not to disturb him, Lin Shi took out the harvest from this wasteland trip, 36 wasteland crystals of various tiers, and began crafting vessels. New 7th District boarding house area. Old buildings were stacked on top of each other. The dilapidated walls and rusty iron doors exuded a sense of decay and despair. A girl around 17 or 18 years old, her face heavily covered, carrying a basket full of daily necessities, walked hurriedly down the narrow, dark corridor. Her footsteps revealed a sense of urgency, as if she had something important waiting to be done. When the girl arrived at her boarding house door, she stopped and looked around warily. Confirming there was nothing unusual around, she carefully took the key out of her pocket, gently inserted it into the lock, and opened the door. Entering the room, what caught the girl's eye was an extremely simple living room and dining area. There were only a few chairs and a table. That was all the furniture in this small house. Although simple, the room was tidied up neatly and cleanly, creating a comfortable feeling. The girl didn't stay in the living room for long. Closing the door, she went straight into the bedroom. The bedroom was equally simple, with only a faded old bed lying isolated in a corner, as if recounting the fading years. But on that bed lay an unusual young man. The young man lay quietly, his face handsome, his features as exquisite as if they were sculpted. His eyes were closed, seemingly fast asleep. His skin was as smooth and white as snow, glossy like porcelain. His eyebrows were thick yet elegant, black as ink. Even though his eyes were closed, one could imagine that when opened, they would be bright, deep eyes. Entering the room, the girl became even more careful, afraid of disturbing the sleeping young man. She gently approached and placed her hand on the young man's forehead, feeling that it was still warm. A smile bloomed on the girl's face. That's great. The fever finally broke. The girl breathed a sigh of relief. For the past few days, this young man had been suffering from a continuous high fever, making Xiangxiang extremely worried, to the point where the corners of her mouth were swollen. If it weren't for the fact that when she picked him up, even though he was delirious, he still instructed in his stupor not to be taken to the hospital, Xiangxiang would have taken him to the hospital already. Now the fever had gone down a lot. The most dangerous phase had passed. Only now did Xiangxiang have the mood to admire the young man's handsome face. So handsome, she thought to herself. She was really bold, daring to bring a stranger home like this. But he was really handsome. She had never seen anyone so handsome. Accidentally touching her own face, Xiangxiang's originally sparkling eyes suddenly lost their light. She gently stroked her cheeks through the cloth, still clearly feeling the hideous scars beneath it. Ever since she could remember, these scars had been on her face. It was as if someone had harmed her when she was little. The wounds healed, leaving scars like centipedes crawling all over her face. Seeming to feel Xiangxiang's gaze, the young man in his stupor twitched his eyelids slightly, and then his bright, starry eyes slowly opened. Xia Chun looked up at the unfamiliar ceiling and hurriedly sat up. But because his movements were too fast, a sharp pain from his wound made him lie back down. You're awake. Xiang hurriedly covered her face, then anxiously reminded him. You can't move. You're injured. Cold sweat broke out on Xia Chun's forehead. Memories from before he fell into a coma flooded back. He remembered being pursued by people from the black market and the central district. While escaping, he was hit in the abdomen by a weapon. He forced himself to escape, but his vision gradually blurred. Before passing out, someone supported him. After that, he knew nothing. Looking at the current situation, he was saved by this girl. Thank you. Because Xia Chun hadn't spoken for days and had a fever, his voice was hoarse, but he didn't know this voice. Combined with his current face and body, how lethal was it to a young girl? Xiangxiang's face flushed red. Luckily, she had the cloth covering it. She waved her hands repeatedly. No need to be polite. I just. Xiangxiang didn't know what to say. Just conveniently saved him? How could she not know that saving a stranger could lead to serious consequences? Even her own life might be hard to keep. Xia Chun saw the young girl's embarrassment and smiled faintly. No matter what, I still have to thank you for saving me. And thank you for not taking me to the hospital. Otherwise, his identity as a black household would be discovered, and he would be caught again. Xiangxiang lowered her head, feeling her face burning hot. Right at that moment, Xia Chun touched his face and said seriously, Where are my glasses? Xiangxiang quickly took Xia Chun's glasses out of the bedside table drawer and handed them to him. Here. Seeing his belongings, Xia Chun breathed a sigh of relief. He put on the glasses and said slowly, Thank you. How many days have I been unconscious? You've been unconscious for 4 days. Xiangxiang suddenly remembered something, stood up, and said, You haven't eaten properly for a long time. Are you hungry? I'll go make you something to eat. Saying that, she hurriedly ran into the kitchen. Xia Chun used his spiritual power to observe the young girl fumbling around in the kitchen, a faint smile on his lips. He remembered an important matter. He remembered that a day before he fell into a coma, Lin Shi said he would come to the new 7th district. Xia Chun looked up at the ceiling, his expression blank. But in reality, no one knew that at this moment, he was activating the communication function of his device, trying to connect with Lin Shi. A long while later, a smile bloomed on Xia Chun's lips again, and his eyes lit up. Clearly, he had successfully contacted Lin Shi. A moment later, Xia Chun regained his focus. He checked the wound on his abdomen. The wound had been carefully bandaged and disinfected, but the recovery speed was still slow. This was just an ordinary human body, without the ability to heal quickly, coupled with the lack of effective medical treatment. If it weren't for Xia Chun's strong willpower, he probably wouldn't have woken up from this injury. Fortunately, he had passed the most dangerous phase. From now on, whatever he did would be easier than before, because that person had arrived. Xia Chun smiled. He reached into his pants pocket and took out an ID card. The image on the card looked 70% like Xia Chun's father. That wasn't the ID card of this body's owner. This was the card Xia Chun obtained after escaping the black market. The original owner of the card was dead, so it could be used for impersonation. He planned to use this card to verify his spiritual power level, then join the new 7th District team. To gather intelligence on the Federation Bureau from the inside. The prerequisite was that he had to find someone to change some information on the card to his own, such as fingerprints. By the time Xiangxiang brought the porridge, Xia Chun was already sitting leaning against the headboard. Seeing Xia Chun severely injured, yet still sitting up, Xiangxiang was shocked. Why are you up? Lie down quickly. It's fine, I'm much better. Thank you. Being looked at directly by Xia Chun, Xiangxiang shyly lowered her head, blowing on a spoonful of porridge. You already thanked me. No need to thank me anymore. Here's the porridge I just made. Let me feed you. Saying that, she scooped a spoonful of porridge, blew on it to cool it down, and brought it to Xia Chun's mouth. Bringing the porridge over, Xiangxiang saw Xia Chun's glasses and remembered he was awake. She became flustered again, stuttering, unable to finish half a sentence. You were in a coma? Xia Chun smiled lightly and took the bowl of porridge. It's fine, I can eat it myself. What's your name? My name is Xiangxiang. Thank you, Xiangxiang. Seeing Xia Chun start eating the porridge, Xiangxiang hurriedly left the room. Xia Chun chuckled, blew on the porridge to cool it, and ate slowly. After finishing the bowl of porridge, there was a knock on the door. Xiang, who was in the living room, immediately became alert. Who is it? In this kind of boarding house, security wasn't good. Especially for a girl living alone like Xiang. She had to be even more careful. In the room, Xia Chun forced himself to sit up, went to the door, and said, "Don't be afraid, it's my friend." Xiang's eyes were full of worry, but she still opened the door. Standing outside was a young man. Qing Er glanced at Xia Chun in the room, confirmed he was the person the master described, didn't say a word, placed the bag in his hand against Xiang's chest, and left. Xiang was still dazed. Xia Chun reminded her, "Close the door." Xiang then snapped out of it, carefully closed the door, and looked suspiciously at the item in her hand. Inside the bag was a small box, contents unknown. "This is my stuff," Xia Chun reminded softly. Xiang hurriedly handed the box to Xia Chun. Xia Chun nodded slightly, took the box back to the room, and opened it. Inside the box were 100 gene pills, neatly arranged. This was the only thing that could save Xia Chun's life right now. Xia Chun didn't hesitate, took 3 pills, and swallowed them immediately. In just a few breaths, Xia Chun felt the wound on his abdomen hurt less. That day, Xia Chun took over 10 more pills. The next day, Xia Chun was able to get out of bed and walk around normally. His body had also unlocked Tier 1 genes. Xiang knew exactly how serious Xia Chun's injuries were. Seeing him recover, she became even more curious about Xia Chun and that box of pills. But this girl, though naive, wasn't stupid. She understood that knowing too much was dangerous. Therefore, during lunch, Xiang bluntly asked her guest to leave. "You're healed now. You should go." "Yeah, I'm leaving today. Thank you so much for the past few days. If you need anything, just tell me. If I can do it, I'll definitely help you." Xia Chun put down his chopsticks and said solemnly. He didn't easily owe people favors, especially a life-saving grace. He couldn't just leave like that. Xiang shook her head. "No need. Saving you was my own choice. I don't need you to repay me." She glanced at Xia Chun's handsome face, then lowered her head. This kind of person, she absolutely couldn't have any involvement with. Good or bad, it was a no. Xia Chun thought for a moment, then took out an unregistered card Lin Shi had given him from his chest pocket and placed it on the table. This card had no name, and the money in it couldn't be traced. Xiang was stunned. This kind of unregistered card had at least 100,000 Federation credits. With that money, she could pay off all her debts. Xiang subconsciously reached for the card, but immediately regretted it. Because taking this card meant she would have nothing to do with Xia Chun anymore. But at this time, Xia Chun had already stood up and returned to the room to pack his things. He came empty-handed, and leaving, he only needed to bring the gene pills Lin Shi gave him. In a moment, Xia Chun returned to the living room to say goodbye. "Thank you again. I'm leaving now. Goodbye. Let me walk you out." Xiang hurriedly stood up, but the two had just reached the door and hadn't even opened it when a loud knock echoed, mixed with a shout. "Ugly bitch. When are you going to pay back my money?" Xiang's face turned pale. She shielded Xia Chun. "You go back to the room first. They're looking for me." Xia Chun frowned, looking at the door, then decided not to interfere in other people's business and returned to the room. Xiang closed the bedroom door, took a few deep breaths, and opened the front door. 3 men looking like thugs stood at the door. Seeing Xiang open the door, the leader said fiercely, "Open the door for me, ugly bitch. When are you going to pay back my money?" Facing these people, Xiang remained calm. She knew that the weaker she was, the more they would push their luck. She dragged out her voice, "Uncle. Uncle what? Aren't there still 7 or 8 days left?" "Boss, this bitch dares to act tough with you," a lackey chimed in. "Humph. The previous time doesn't count. I need money now. Pay me back immediately, or I'll sell you to the black market," the leader said. Xiang clutched the card in her hand tightly, reluctant to hand it over. Initially, she planned to return the card to that person. She looked back at Xia Chun hiding in the room, then gritted her teeth and said, "Fine, I'll pay. Take it to collect the payment." Seeing Xiang take out an unregistered card, the burly leader's eyes lit up, immediately revealing a greedy look. "Don't you guys get any ideas? My brother gave me this card. He just joined the 7th combat team, not someone you bunch of petty thugs can mess with." Xiang was very smart, and her aura wasn't weak at all. This sentence indeed made the three hesitate. The burly leader wiped his light brain and swiped Xiangxiang's card. Immediately, 100,000 Federation credits disappeared from the card. Xiangxiang frowned, her eyes full of heartache. She didn't expect the interest to compound so much that she ended up having to pay back this much. Initially, she used the money borrowed from them to remove the scars on her face. But after multiple treatments at the hospital, the recovery effect wasn't good. The previous wounds were too deep. Even after plastic surgery, traces still remained on her face. The doctor said that to be completely normal like everyone else, she would need at least several million more in treatment fees. This made Xiangxiang immediately give up on further treatment. At this moment, Xiangxiang hadn't noticed yet, but the burly man, after taking the money from the card, secretly peeked at the remaining balance. His eyes immediately flashed. Just as Xiangxiang was about to close the door, a large hand blocked it. Xiangxiang asked warily, "What are you doing? I already paid you." "Little girl, didn't you say your brother is a combat team member? Let us take a look." How could a little girl match the strength of a burly man? He immediately squeezed into the crack of the door. The three men pushed Xiangxiang into the room. Xiangxiang was terrified but still tried to stay calm, saying, "My brother won't see you. If you don't leave, watch out for your little lives." The burly man looked around the simple room and retorted, "Oh? I really want to see how a newbie in the combat team is going to make me watch out for my life. Could he be a logistics member? Haha, maybe that's exactly it. Boss, this girl is definitely bluffing." Another burly man, ignoring Xiangxiang's obstruction, pushed open the bedroom door. "Where's your brother? Bring him out for us to see." But the moment his hand touched the door, a sharp wave of spiritual power transmitted from inside the room. The three men cried out in pain simultaneously, clutching their heads and falling to the ground. Fresh blood flowed from their nostrils and ears like little snakes. "We're so sorry, my lord. We were blind. We were wrong." The burly leader hurriedly begged for mercy. This person's spiritual power was clearly much stronger than theirs. If they didn't beg for mercy, they would only die. The three burly men who were arrogant and smug just a moment ago were now pale with fear. From inside the room, Xia Chun's cold voice rang out, "Scram." The three men hurriedly ran out of the room, even closing the door before leaving. Xiangxiang was terrified by the events that happened in an instant. Xia Chun opened the door, saw Xiangxiang standing there stunned, and said, "What's wrong? Didn't expect me to be this strong?" Xiangxiang nodded blankly. She realized a dangerous problem. If this young man was so strong yet still hunted down to this extent, then the people or faction hunting him must be terrifyingly powerful. "Don't worry, there's no problem with my identity. What happened last time was just an accident," Xia Chun comforted, seeing the anxiety and tension on Xiangxiang's face. It wasn't completely without problems, it just needed a little handling. When he escaped from the black market, he had disguised himself. Plus, this body was small and thin. As long as he wore glasses, gained a little weight, changed his aura, and dressed normally, basically no one would recognize him as that person anymore. "All right, I have to go." Xia Chun nodded to Xiangxiang, preparing to leave. He took 2 steps before his shirt corner was pulled. Xiangxiang revealed her beautiful eyes from behind the cloth covering her face. Her eyes showed anticipation and worry. "Can you stay? I'm afraid those people will come back. I won't bother you. I can wash clothes. Cook for you. I have a job. I can support myself. You want me to stay?" "Yeah." Lin Sure spent over a month using 36 wasteland crystals to successfully craft 20 vessels. If this success rate were spoken out loud, I'm afraid even the top vessel crafting masters of the Federation Scientific Research Institute would drop their jaws in shock. It was a miracle. Among those 20 pieces, 1 was a high-level vessel, 4 were mid-level, and 15 were low-level. Each low-level vessel, calculated at a base price of 20 million Federation credits, could be sold for 300 million. Not to mention the price of a mid-level vessel, which was at least 10 times higher than a low-level vessel. High-level vessels had astronomical values and were incredibly scarce. The moment one appeared on the market, it would immediately be highly sought after. Lin Sure had no doubt about the value of these vessels. It definitely exceeded 10 billion Federation credits. Next, he needed to find the person in charge of the black market, or put them up for auction to exchange for Federation credits, and then trade with the black market, or directly use these vessels to exchange for what he needed with the black market. At this moment, even someone as calm as Lin Shi felt proud. His money-making speed was even faster than direct robbery. Lin Shi took the only high-level vessel out of the box. This was crafted using the core of a Tier 7 wasteland beast he had hunted. It had 3 auxiliary functions: spatial storage, earth tunneling, and spiritual power enhancement. Its spiritual power enhancement effect was enough to drive the people of the Sanlian continent crazy. But for Lin Shi, who had reached the 9th tier, the effect was negligible. He placed that high-level vessel into an exquisite box, then took another chest and stored all the other vessels inside. Lin Shi planned to go to the black market tonight to gather information about the high-energy bomb from last time. Bidder number 3 from last time also wanted to buy it. He wondered if, with these vessels, he could intercept that person and buy that bomb. Seeing it was still early, Lin Shi rested for a while, washed up, and made himself a hearty dinner with primeval beast meat. After eating, he returned to the black market with Qing Yi and Qing Air. The black market was located in a surface building, disguised as a supermarket. When the salesperson asked Lin Shi what he needed, he looked toward the location of a hidden camera in the supermarket and said, "I want to see your boss." The salesperson was startled. He didn't understand how this customer spotted the camera and why he demanded to see the boss as soon as he arrived. "I'm sorry, sir, our boss." Right at that moment, the cashier, who doubled as the black market's door guard, received a message. His whole body trembled, and he quickly ran in front of Lin Shi, saying respectfully, "Guest, the boss said that for the past 10 days, please follow me." After saying that, to the shock of the other salespeople, he personally led Lin Shi to a secret elevator. The elevator was only as big as a small room. The cashier took out a metal card and swiped it on the elevator. After 2 seconds of verification, the elevator began to descend. Lin Shi sat in the elevator, descending several hundred meters before the doors opened. "I won't go down any further. Please walk straight down this corridor. The boss is waiting for you there. As for these 2, they will come with me," the cashier said, then led Lin Shi here. Lin Shi nodded slightly to Qing Yi and Qing Air, then walked out of the elevator alone carrying the chest. This underground area was very spacious. After walking just a few steps, Lin Shi saw military-grade spiritual power alarm devices everywhere. These shiny devices were placed in conspicuous locations, openly warning people not to casually use spiritual power to probe. After walking a few hundred meters, Lin Shi met the man in sunglasses again. This time, beside him was the scar-faced man Lin Shi had met on the airship last time, and another man in black whom Lin Shi didn't recognize. Bao Lai stepped forward, smiling as he reached out to shake Lin Shi's hand, and said, "A distinguished guest from afar, we failed to welcome you properly." Bao Lai's hand was very strong, showing he frequently trained his physique. His physical strength had reached the peak of an ordinary person. But that strength, which ordinary people would see as iron and steel, was nothing more than a tickle to Lin Shi. After the handshake, Bao Lai's expression changed slightly, but he quickly regained his composure thanks to his good training. Lin Shi also let go at the right moment. Bao Lai gestured invitingly. "Please come in, please come in." He then led the way to the VIP reception room. Lin Shi was about to follow when the man in black, whom Lin Shi had never met, stopped him, reaching out and saying, "Please hand over the chest to me. I will keep it for you." He was referring to the chest Lin Shi had been carrying since he walked in. Lin Shi refused. No need. He brought valuable items. Naturally, he couldn't casually hand them over to someone else. But the man in black kept staring at Lin Shi, not yielding at all. His eyes clearly meant that if he didn't hand over the chest, he wouldn't be allowed in. Lin Shi calmly and leisurely stepped forward, seemingly completely ignoring the man blocking his way. Seeing that Lin Shi was about to bump into him, Bao Lai, who had already entered the reception room, spoke up. "A phone. Let the guest in." The man in black hurriedly stepped aside right before Lin Shi bumped into him. Lin Shi entered the reception room and sat down opposite Bao Lai. "I am the manager of the black market, Bao Lai. May I ask what you call yourself, brother?" Bao Lai said, his tone clearly indicating his status. Lin Shi replied concisely, "Lin Shi." Bao Lai's eyes flashed, and he smiled, saying, "Good name. Brother Lin, coming to the black market this time. Is there anything I can help you with?" Lin Shi nodded. I want to do a business deal with you. This is my sincerity. Lin Shi opened the chest, revealing the low-level and mid-level vessels inside. Before Lin Shi opened the chest, Bao Lai was still a bit disdainful. As the master of the black market, what kind of big transactions hadn't he done? What kind of grand scenes hadn't he seen? A Sui and a Feng, standing behind Bao Lai, were both on alert, afraid Lin Shi had brought lethal weapons. But when they saw it was an exquisitely crafted jewelry chest, all three breathed a sigh of relief. But when Lin Shi said all those pieces of jewelry were vessels, even Bao Lai, the one with the best composure, had to sit up straight, his eyes wide open, staring intently at the chest. You're saying these are all vessels? Can I take a look? Lin Shi took out a box containing a high-level vessel, pushed the chest toward Bao Lai, and gestured for him to examine them as he pleased. This decisiveness made Bao Lai value Lin Shi even more. Bao Lai signaled to the person behind him. A Sui, the scar-faced man, stepped forward and meticulously inspected the vessels Lin Shi brought. After a long while, the scar-faced man finished his inspection and said to Bao Lai with a slightly hoarse voice, Boss, there are a total of 4 mid-level vessels and 15 low-level vessels, and the quality is all very good. Actually, it wasn't just that. He had never seen low-level and mid-level vessels of such good quality. Compared to this batch of vessels, the vessels produced by the black market looked simple and mediocre. But he didn't dare say this in front of an outsider. Bao Lai, wearing sunglasses, widened his eyes, looking at a Sui in shock. You're not mistaken? Normally, with the trust Bao Lai had in a Sui, especially in front of an outsider, he would never question his capable subordinate. But at this moment, Bao Lai was too shocked to care about that. The scar-faced man nodded slightly. Bao Lai took off his sunglasses, looking at Lin Shi with eager eyes. Could it be that you have a crafting team that can make mid-level vessels? Previously, Bao Lai knew Lin Shi bought tools and materials to craft vessels. But Bao Lai had sent his people, and even people in the central district, to take turns monitoring every move of Lin Shi and the 2 people with him. None of them discovered when Lin Shi found someone to craft so many vessels. Bao Lai even suspected whether these vessels were stolen from the Federation Scientific Research Institute. Otherwise, this guy was always right under their noses, only disappearing for 2 days when he went into the wilderness. How could so many vessels suddenly appear? The slip of the tongue made Bao Lai realize he had been careless and misspoken. Trump cards always needed to be kept hidden. Like other mysterious questions, how could people answer them? He immediately laughed out loud. Ha ha. Sorry, Bao Lai, have never seen so many vessels. My mistake, my mistake. That sentence both elevated Lin Shi and tactfully explained the reason why he just asked questions he shouldn't have. But Bao Lai didn't expect. Lin Shi nodded and admitted frankly, my side indeed has someone who can craft vessels. A sharp glint flashed in Bao Lai's eyes. A fleeting, intense ambition appeared in the depths of his eyes, then was quickly hidden by the action of putting on his sunglasses. So, Brother Lin, what business do you want to do with me coming here? Bao Lai asked directly for Lin Shi's purpose. I want to exchange for the high-energy bomb that appeared at the auction last time. Lin Shi stated his purpose directly. Bao Lai didn't expect Lin Shi to want to exchange for that. At this moment, he suspected Lin Shi was from the Federation headquarters. That high-energy bomb was exactly what they prepared to use against the Federation headquarters. Just as Lin Shi had predicted, although it was an auction, it was an internal auction. The owner of the high-energy bomb could only be one of a few selected people. It wouldn't be sold to outsiders. Bao Lai pushed the chest full of vessels back toward Lin Shi and smiled bitterly. I'm really sorry, Brother Lin. That item is currently out of stock. There was only one, and it's already sold. I don't know when the next one will be finished. Even if I want to trade with you, brother, I'm powerless. Lin Shi smiled. He didn't believe this excuse. He believed he hadn't offered enough chips, because the items in the chest combined still fell a bit short of 10 billion. Moreover, his identity definitely made the other party suspicious. It was normal for the other party to be worried. Lin Shi smiled and said, How about you look at all my sincerity before you speak? Oh, Bao Lai was curious about what other trump cards this young man hadn't used. His eyes fell on the box Lin Shi had been holding the whole time. Under Bao Lai's gaze, Lin Shi opened the box. Inside was an exquisitely crafted necklace, modeled by Lin Shi after the works of jewelry designers on Blue Star. In terms of aesthetics alone, it far surpassed the vessels on the Sonlian continent. Not only the design, but the high-level vessel also radiated the special energy of a wasteland crystal, making the necklace even more mysterious and dazzling. This is... Bao Lai seemed to think of something and looked at Lin Shi in shock for confirmation. Lin Shi confirmed Bao Lai's guess. This is a high-level vessel. Its abilities are spatial storage, earth tunneling, and spiritual power enhancement. A high-level vessel. A phone. The man in black standing behind Bao Lai, who had always been silent, exclaimed in shock, his breathing even becoming rapid. A Sui also stared greedily at the necklace in Lin Shi's hand. If Bao Lai wasn't here, if he didn't know the unfathomable strength of this young man, a Sui probably wouldn't have been able to resist attacking. On the Sonlian continent, the number of existing high-level vessels could be counted on one's fingers. Not only because high-level wasteland crystals were very hard to harvest, but also because crafters who could make high-level vessels were incredibly rare. Even those who had crafted high-level vessels before couldn't guarantee they could make another one. A high-level vessel could significantly enhance the combat power and survival ability of its owner. Especially the spiritual power enhancement ability Lin Shi just introduced. This was a rare attribute that could directly elevate one's own strength. Lin Shi pushed the box containing the high-level item toward Bao Lai. This, plus these, in exchange for one high-energy bomb. Bao Lai personally inspected the vessel in the box thoroughly. After a long while, he put it back into the box, breathed a sigh of relief, and said, 800 million Federation credits. Sell it to me. Lin Shi looked at him in silence. Bao Lai smiled bitterly. It's not that I don't want to trade the bomb with you, but I have a cooperation agreement with someone else. This kind of strategic weapon is absolutely not sold to outsiders. If you use Federation credits, I'll pay 10 billion. What do you think? Lin Shi took back the vessel box, his intention clear. Only the high-energy bomb could move him. Lin Shi looked coldly at a phone standing behind Bao Lai. I advise you not to cause trouble. Otherwise, if you die, don't blame me. A Feng's hand trembled. Then he revealed a vicious look. Boss, this guy is insolent. Let's just kill him and take the vessels. The sheer number of vessels was enough to arouse greed. From the moment he stepped into the reception room, Lin Shi felt he was locked onto by something. It seemed to be some kind of weapon that could conceal spiritual power perception, but he couldn't find where it was. This was a world with technology far exceeding Blue Star. It wasn't surprising for the central black market to have weapons aimed at outsiders. However, those weapons were only aimed at ordinary people with spiritual power. The gene lock had been opened. With the speed of a Tier 6 evolver, no weapon could do anything to him. The voice of the Qingzhou cornucopia rang out. You can test the Tier 6 strength of this body. At the same time, Lin Shi narrowed his eyes. This body also had defensive capabilities. He also wanted to see how strong this and used defensive capability was. Initially, he planned to use a soft approach. But if the other party insisted on forcing him to go to war with the entire black market, that was fine too. It would just be more difficult and dangerous, perhaps even requiring him to face the entire new 7th district. But then, a crisp slap echoed in the room. Bao Lai slapped a phone across the face. Idiot. This is my distinguished guest. Get out. Bao Lai's physical strength was at the peak level, so the slap was not light. A phone was slapped to the ground, even breaking a tooth. Bao Lai shouted at a Sui, drag him out. A Sui, the scar-faced underling, still looking fearfully at a phone who was bleeding from his nose and mouth, dragged him out of the reception room. Bao Lai's tone softened. I'm sorry, my subordinate is ignorant. Let's continue. He didn't know if Bao Lai noticed anything when Lin Shi exuded killing intent. In fact, Bao Lai had a vessel that could detect the killing intent of others. In the instant Lin Shi exuded killing intent aimed at a phone, it far exceeded the total of everyone Bao Lai had ever detected. Lin Shi didn't expect Bao Lai to be so cautious. He requested again, trade one high-energy bomb with me, or an explosive with equivalent effects. It's really not that I don't want to trade, Brother Lin. It's that I currently don't have any. The high-energy bomb successfully traded last time was also from our reserves. It will take at least 3 months to 3 years to deliver. To manufacture a new high-energy bomb will probably take a year. Can you wait that long? Bao Lai finally explained the actual situation. Lin frowned. Initially, his targets were the Federation military and the black market. But the black market said he had to wait a year. That left only the Federation military. But he didn't think the Federation military would trade weapons and ammunition with outsiders. So in the end, did he still have to resort to blatant robbery? Facing the Federation headquarters head-on with his current Tier 6 strength seemed completely insufficient. This world didn't have an army of primeval beasts. No matter how strong an individual was, he was still just one person. Lin fell into deep thought. Bao Lai didn't disturb him. He really wanted the high-level vessel, but he couldn't let one vessel affect his meticulously arranged grand plan. And his grand plan? Then exchange these vessels for Federation credits, and we'll trade another time. I'll come bother you later. Lin stood up and said, since they didn't have it right now, he didn't intend to stay here and waste time. No problem. Bao Lai laughed heartily. I will definitely give you a fair price. After saying that, Bao Lai immediately called his subordinates to appraise the chest of low-level and mid-level vessels for Lin, ultimately offering a price of 780 million. Trading such a large number of vessels at once without an auction, the price naturally wouldn't be as high as an auction. But Lin didn't mind. He took the money and brought the high-level vessel with him. Lin left the basement. After meeting up with Qing Yi and Qing Er, they returned to the villa. After thinking for a moment, Lin decided to meet Xia Chun. The two contacted each other via vessel and agreed to meet at dusk in a residential park with no surveillance. Lin arrived at the park early. As mentioned before, the Sanlian continent's investment in civilian infrastructure was very poor. This kind of park, frequented only by commoners, not only lacked surveillance, but was also a frequent site for robberies, rapes, and even murders. Therefore, at this time of dusk, the park was almost empty. If there was anyone, they were people with dark motives. For example, right now, Lin was walking on a not-so-clean path when he was blocked by two young thugs holding knives. Hey, you, hand over your ID card obediently. The ID card was equivalent to a personal bank card. Once they got the card, they would use a gray market industrial chain to extract the money from it. But for the person robbed of their ID card, getting replacement documents was very difficult. They might even become a homeless person without identification. Lin looked up at the thug holding the knife in front of him, who was pretending to be fierce. They weren't on the same level as those people in the black market, but they did exude a bit of killing intent. They had probably killed people before. If an ordinary person encountered them, they would probably be terrified and beg for mercy. The two thugs attacked Lin. Lin didn't even look at them and just kept walking forward. Stop. Did you hear me? Stop right there. Seeing Lin still approaching, the thug took a step back, then fiercely lunged forward. You're asking for death. The thug stabbed at a vital spot. But in a split second, he felt the world spin, and then saw the look of horror on his accomplice's face. What was going on? A headless corpse fell to the ground. Lin raised the knife high, and the dagger plunged straight into the middle of the other thug's forehead. The two thugs died instantly. For Lin, killing two people was like killing two flies. After killing the two thugs, Lin pulled the knife from the remaining one's head, then threw it in a certain direction. A tragic scream echoed from behind the bushes. The people following Lin were all terrified and didn't dare follow anymore. Lin stored the corpses in his spatial storage, then went to the meeting place with Xia Chun. Sitting down on a stone bench in the park, he began to reflect on everything that had happened since he arrived in this world. Ever since arriving here, his life had been extremely eventful. First, he used items from his spatial storage to enhance his physique. Then, he clashed with the new 9th District team. After that, he stayed at the Star Brilliance Hotel, met Qing Yun, and tested his spiritual power. Next, he smoothly resolved the trouble in the new 9th District, arrived at the new 7th District, entered the black market, bought necessary materials, actively hunted for wasteland crystals, and meticulously crafted vessels. All of that happened in less than 2 months. Initially, he wanted to find explosives to destroy the spatial passage, so he focused on the black market in the new 7th District, hoping to find his target here. But even if they sold that kind of item here, they didn't have it in stock. Not only that, he also used his spiritual power to scan the black market thoroughly, even entering areas ordinary people couldn't access, but still couldn't find the production site for high-energy explosives. Let alone finding the item, Lin Shi sensed that Bao Lai simply wouldn't sell that explosive to him. He hadn't even dealt with this black market yet, let alone facing the Federation Bureau directly. Did he have to raise his strength to Tier 9, dominate the world, and then go destroy the spatial passage? Who knew when he would achieve that? Lin Shi was able to almost dominate Blue Star with Tier 9 strength mainly because humanity's science, technology, and military civilization had been destroyed, coupled with the extreme cold weather and sparse population, making individual strength extremely prominent. But in reality, a person without a faction, no matter how strong their martial arts, couldn't control the entire world. Those schemers and ambitious people, if they found they had lost everything in their hands, would destroy the whole world to perish together. This world was very vast, and without the ability to fly, the work efficiency was much lower than on Blue Star. Eliminating every single one of those cowards wasn't something that could be done overnight. Therefore, the current situation of not being able to obtain the explosives made Lin Shi's path bumpy. No matter which direction he took, it couldn't be accomplished overnight. It seemed he could only wait a year for the black market to trade with him. This path was easier. But a year later, would the black market really trade with him? What are you thinking about? Xiao Chun sat down next to Lin Shi. Although their faces were completely different, with just one glance, both knew who the other was. Lin Shi stopped thinking and recounted every step of his plan to Xiao Chun. Xiao Chun pondered for a moment, then looked up and said, "Based on the current situation, the black market boss definitely won't trade with you in the short term. As you analyzed, the black market has allied with several other districts and is about to go to war with the Federation headquarters. With your current identity, you are very suspicious in their eyes, so they absolutely wouldn't do something stupid like going against you right now." Lin Shi nodded slightly, showing his agreement. "So what do you plan to do now?" Xiao Chun replied, "I've joined Team 7. My spiritual power is currently Tier 3. Perhaps after the next wilderness hunt, I'll be promoted to squad captain. My original plan was that if your progress was slow, I would spend the next 2 years climbing to the position of Team 7 captain, then gradually get closer to the Federation Center. But looking at it now, this plan has to be put on hold. I suspect that in the next few months, the various districts, and even the Federation headquarters, will make major moves. If a civil war really breaks out, the wilderness hunting plans will definitely be postponed, and hunting teams like ours will definitely be dragged into the battlefield. That's why the black market guy only signed a 1-year contract with you. He probably thinks that after a year, whether you're wiped out or defeated, this contract won't need to be fulfilled anyway." Relying on small clues from Lin Shi, Xiao Chun meticulously analyzed the future situation of the Sanlian continent. If a civil war really happens, isn't that a good thing for us? Lin Shi thought about this issue. When the time came, it would be easier for them to fish in troubled waters. Exactly. At that time, powerful weapons of mass destruction will definitely appear on the battlefield. With your abilities, stealing one won't be hard. The difficulty lies in the spatial passage being underwater. You have to find an underwater weapon of mass destruction. When the time comes, try a few and see, Xiao Chun said. Lin Shi nodded, agreeing with this viewpoint. Xiao Chun continued, "The Federation is about to have a civil war. They won't have the time to care about transportation through the spatial passage. In other words, looking from the outside, Blue Star is temporarily safe. And analyzing from the inside, you came here by the will of Blue Star. It won't make things difficult for humanity. Therefore, you don't need to worry too much." Lin Shi looked at Xiao Chun intently. Just as Xiao Chun said, he was very anxious, hoping to quickly resolve the Sanlian continent issue and return to Blue Star. From the past until now, Lin Shi had always been decisive and acted resolutely. You are very capable, but you set your expectations for yourself too high. Perhaps you feel you are strong enough, so you always want to achieve your goals in the shortest time possible. But sometimes, rushing makes you leave loopholes, even leading to mistakes. These things, you just need to calm down and think a bit to realize. Therefore, Lin Shi, don't be impatient. We have time. Just take it one step at a time. Xiao Chun smiled at Lin Shi. That smile seemed to carry a magical power that put people at ease. Just a few words were enough to help Lin Shi quickly adjust his state. You're right. We haven't found a solution yet, so we should slow down and do everything solidly. As Lin Shi spoke, he observed Xiao Chun's expression. It feels like since coming to this world, your state of mind is much better than before, huh? Xia Chun smiled, not answering directly, brushing off the unimportant topic. Lin Shi asked further. So in your opinion, should we wait for the Federation civil war before taking action? I think you can take action right now. Xia Chun raised a finger, gesturing as he explained, because when the two factions drag the whole world into a civil war, no one can stay out of it. To obtain large-scale lethal weapons with our current shallow understanding of the two factions, it's hard to make any real progress. The best way is to join one faction, gather their intelligence, or both. The Federation headquarters is too far away. We can't abandon what's near for what's far. Since you already have some connection with the black market, we can temporarily side with them and their allied districts. You mean help the black market defeat the Federation headquarters? What if we misjudge their strength and pick the wrong side? Lin Shi asked a reasonable question. Xia Chun looked at Lin Shi firmly and said seriously, the Federation's new district has existed for 10,000 years and maintained a relatively stable equilibrium. This shows the power gap between the two sides isn't that huge. Furthermore, the black market and other districts are closely allied. If they dare to go to war, they definitely have a certain chance of winning. Perhaps, we only need to skillfully intervene at a few key points to change the entire situation. I wouldn't be so sure about anyone else, but as for you, you can definitely influence the outcome of the war on the Sanlian continent. Lin Shi was a bit surprised. He stared at Xia Chun and asked doubtfully, do you really trust my strength that much? Xia Chun nodded without hesitation. I have never doubted your strength. One person's power might not change the whole picture, but your role is as crucial as the fulcrum of a lever. As long as you pick a side, the scales will tip. Xia Chun's gaze made Lin Shi shudder slightly. Xia Chun continued, the Sanlian continent doesn't lack mental power users, but it lacks a level 9 mental power user. I suspect they might possess a special weapon that can maximize a mental power user's attack, using it to dominate the war. Xia Chun offered his hypothesis. As long as that weapon truly exists, you will become invincible, Lin Shi. Therefore, I suggest you reveal your full strength, cooperate with the black market, and actively participate in this Federation civil war to gain their trust. Then, use that as a stepping stone to acquire powerful lethal weapons. With your strength, if you find the allies unsatisfactory, you can switch sides anytime it's necessary. As for me, I will hide in the shadows, gather intelligence, and support you at any time. Lin Shi and Xia Chun talked for over an hour. It had to be said, Xia Chun was indeed highly valued by the Xia Kingdom's emperor and chosen as the leader of the Xia Kingdom base. His mind was sharp, his logic clear, and he could always offer Lin Shi unique perspectives and directions. Then I'll do as you say. But you must also pay attention to your safety. Lin Shi concluded the conversation. Xia Chun stood up, waved goodbye to Lin Shi, and left the park into the night. Lin Shi sat for a while longer, organizing his thoughts before getting up to leave. As soon as he stepped out of the park, the feeling of being watched reappeared. This feeling had been there since he returned to District 9, went to the Xingyao Hotel in New District 7, and especially when he was at the black market. The number of people tailing him had only increased. He didn't even need to think to know who it was. When the tiger doesn't show its might, you treat me like a sick cat. Previously, Lin Shi didn't kill these people because he didn't want to hide his intentions, and he didn't want the hassle, so he let them buzz around like annoying flies. But right after entering the park, he had killed one to warn the others and show his stance. Yet they still dared to keep tailing him. No matter how sophisticated their tracking techniques were, they couldn't escape the senses of a level 9 mental power user. A glass shard suddenly appeared in Lin Shi's hand. A second later, the whistling sound of the glass shard piercing the wind rang out. In the darkness, the sound of heavy objects hitting the ground echoed. It was the sound of corpses falling. 10 spies, and only one survived. Not because Lin Shi was careless, but because he wanted to leave one alive to clean up the bodies and serve as a warning to the rest. Stop staring at him. Just as Xia Chun said, if he wanted to join a faction, he had to show his strength and his temper. From now on, Lin Shi, the lawless tyrant of the Blue Planet, had returned. The sole surviving spy watched his comrades fall without a single sound, his hair standing on end in sheer terror. After confirming all his comrades were dead, he gasped in horror. his hands trembling as he used his optical computer to contact his boss in the distant black market. What? The people we sent are all dead? And they all died the exact same way? Bao Lai received the news from Scarface. Boss, your subordinate just received the news. The target only left one survivor. The other spies are all dead, even the ones from the Central District. They're dead too. Humph. He was absolutely ruthless this time. I heard he was a bit emotional when he entered the park, but we judged he might have just accidentally discovered our men. I didn't expect him to have known we were tailing him all along, just choosing not to act on it. It seems he spotted us a long time ago. Boss, do we still need to send people to tail him? The Central District seems very angry. Should we warn them? No need to tail him anymore. Bao Lai waved his hand, his voice deep. He knew we were tailing him, but didn't act. This time, it's probably because we refused the trade and a Feng's matter angered him. He wanted to give us a warning. Let me handle the Central District. You step down for now. As for that high-level spatial item, don't touch it for the time being. Yes, boss. Bao Lai stood up, crushing the newly made clay pig in his hand, and used his optical computer to contact someone marked as District 7. Yo, Bao Lai. What's the matter? My men are dead. 7 of them. What's going on? My men can't just die for nothing. You have to get justice for me on this. No way. This ends here. What did you say, Bao Lai? You were the one who told my men to tail him. My men died because of you. It seems more than 10 of your men died too. And you're just letting it go? That doesn't sound like you. The voice on the optical computer sounded a bit angry. Bao Lai said in a deep voice, the target's strength is probably even greater than I previously stated. At a time like this, don't cause any more trouble. Strength? Since when did you, Bao Lai, become so cowardly? Even if he's strong, he's just one person. What's there to be afraid of? If you ask me, just let a Shui make a move. It'll be a piece of cake. The other party was clearly a bit disdainful. Veins popped on Bao Lai's temples, his voice dropping even lower. It's not about being afraid, it's about dropping it. You understand what I mean, right? Fine. I'll do you a favor this time and let it slide. But don't expect me to be this easygoing next time. The call ended. Crack. Bao Lai squeezed hard, and the newly made clay pig was crushed to pieces in his hand. A Shui was also very angry. Boss, when are we launching the all-out attack? If you keep holding back, those guys won't take our black market seriously at all. They even order our subordinates around like hunting dogs. Those guys pretend to cooperate with us, but I can tell they're up to no good. Don't rush. The time is almost ripe. Let me ask you, are the things I told you to prepare ready? Don't worry, boss. Everything is ready. Our people have gathered enough supplies. All the weapons are also being transported to the destination. But we still have to be careful. Even in the wilderness, our movements absolutely cannot be too flashy. This time, the target will start from the 2 new neutral districts. It's very likely will be the vanguard. In short, before the all-out war breaks out, absolutely no clues can be leaked. Understood, boss. Lin Shi returned to the villa and did nothing but rest, allowing his body and mind to completely relax. The next day, Lin Shi called Qing Yi and Qing Er, took out origin beast meat from his spatial space, and began a rapid advancement process. This time, he wanted to consume all the reserves he had brought to the Sanlian continent. Early morning, 3 months later. Sunlight pierced through the curtains into the room. Lin Shi woke up from a period of meditation. Currently, his power level had reached Tier 8, and the origin beast meat in his inventory was almost depleted. To reach Tier 9, he absolutely needed Tier 9 origin beasts. After a long period of preparation on the blue planet, Lin Shi still hadn't found any Tier 9 origin beasts because the apocalypse hadn't lasted long enough. The world had yet to spawn Tier 9 origin beasts. Therefore, with what Lin Shi had prepared, he could only reach Tier 8 on the Sanlian continent. Feeling the familiar power return to his body, Lin Shi was very satisfied. Although he hadn't reached his peak, his current strength was enough. After adjusting his state and refamiliarizing himself with the power within, Lin Shi decided to execute the plan he had discussed with Xia Chan. Returning to the black market. At the black market's supply supermarket, the cashier was still the same person. He recognized Lin Shi at a glance. Seeing Lin Shi approach, the cashier immediately welcomed him with an attentive smile. Esteemed guest, what do you need this time? Lin Shi looked at the cashier, his expression unchanged, and said coldly, I want to see your boss. The cashier gave a slight nod and replied respectfully, "Our boss instructed that as long as you arrive, you can go straight in. Please follow me." With that, he turned and led Lin Shi deep into the black market. This time, Lin Shi left Qing Yi and Qing Er outside, walking alone deep into the corridor. Bao Lai still came out to greet him, but this time, he wasn't accompanied by Scarface or the subordinate who got slapped last time. Instead, there were two strangers. One stood behind the other, clearly a subordinate, while the other, a stout man, stood in line with Bao Lai. He seemed to be another guest of Bao Lai's. Seeing Lin Shi, Bao Lai narrowed his eyes slightly. If Lin Shi's aura last time was hidden yet dangerous, like a bottomless abyss, this time, his aura was fully unleashed, like a raging tsunami or an erupting volcano, striking fear into anyone facing him. "Is this your partner too?" Young and promising Bao Lai. "Aren't you going to introduce us?" The stout man next to Bao Lai smiled, his eyes fixed on Lin Shi, sizing him up bluntly. There wasn't much respect in his gaze. It was full of disdain. The two had cooperated for years, and this man was a famous merchant in the Federation. Almost all prominent figures on the Sanlian continent knew him. As for Lin Shi, he was clearly an unfamiliar face. Bao Lai retracted his sharp gaze and reached out a hand toward Lin Shi. "This is Brother Lin. Brother Lin, long time no see." This time, Lin Shi didn't shake Bao Lai's hand, but sneered. "Skip the handshake. I'm here on business. Tell the irrelevant people to leave." Both his tone and attitude were incredibly arrogant. Bao Lai's eyes twitched, but he quickly suppressed his anger. He looked straight at Lin Shi. No one in the black market had ever dared to speak to him like that. Even the subordinate standing behind the stout man was stunned. The way he looked at Lin Shi was like looking at a dead body. "Kid, who are you calling irrelevant? Do you know who you're talking to?" "A fat pig." Lin Shi looked at the short, fat man with contempt. Fatty, a merchant, hated being called a fat pig more than anything in his life. He roared in anger, "Kill this brat for me." The subordinate behind Fatty had a flash of killing intent in his eyes. But before he could move, a terrifying mental power, as if wanting to engulf the entire sky, suddenly enveloped the three of them. At the same time, all the mental power alarms in the entire black market wailed simultaneously. Everyone in the black market was horrified to discover the massive number of mental power alarms, and they were all triggered at the exact same time. What's happening? The alarms. Someone triggered the alarms. My God, just how many alarms are there in this black market? Just as the black market was about to descend into unprecedented chaos, the ear-piercing sirens abruptly stopped. At the same time, a voice echoed through the loudspeakers across the black market, explaining that it was merely an abnormal malfunction of the alarm system. But Bao Lai, who was standing opposite Lin Shi and had just used his optical computer to turn off the alarms, was pale as a ghost, staring wide-eyed at Lin Shi. "You, a level 9 mental power user." Bao Lai's voice was filled with terror and disbelief. He himself was a powerful level 8 mental power user, yet the terrifying mental pressure just now made him want to flee immediately. He couldn't believe it wasn't level 9 mental power. The gap between level 8 and level 9 was a bottomless chasm. At this moment, Fatty and his subordinate were collapsed on the ground, bleeding from their orifices, unconscious. As for Bao Lai, although he looked calm on the outside, his back was actually drenched in cold sweat. Lin Shi didn't answer Bao Lai. The intimidation effect had been achieved. The next step was to make the other party take the initiative to beg him for help. "This reception room makes me uncomfortable. Is there somewhere else we can talk?" "What?" Bao Lai was stunned. "This reception room. On the light fixture in the northwest, on the east wall, lethal weapons are installed. They can kill anyone in the room at any time." "Am I wrong?" Bao Lai was shocked. Those weapons could all conceal mental power detection. They weren't triggered when Lin Shi came last time. So how did he discover them? Could this be the true strength of a level 9? Even the Federation's latest mental power cloaking system couldn't hide from his senses. "Please follow me." Bao Lai took a few deep breaths, calmed himself down, and led Lin Shi to another room. This room was simpler. It only had a few mental power alarms and surveillance devices, with no lethal weapons. "I want to have a serious talk with you this time. Remove all the surveillance devices." Bao Lai didn't hold on to any hope and gave a signal. Someone immediately came to dismantle the surveillance equipment. "My apologies, those were just the black market security measures. Please don't laugh at me. Bao Lai forced a smile. It wasn't that he insisted on bringing Lin Shi to a monitored room, but rather, apart from his private quarters, every other room had surveillance. At this moment, Bao Lai's forehead was covered in cold sweat. His mind raced, speculating whether Lin Shi was some war god from the Federation headquarters. Could the Federation headquarters have discovered something and sent this trump card to wipe them out? No, that's not right. Bao Lai immediately rejected his own speculation. If the other party was truly from the Federation headquarters and had discovered something, they absolutely wouldn't have talked to him this many times. Even just now, the other party could have made a move against him. Moreover, given the age of the Federation headquarters war gods, they should be white-haired old men. It was absolutely impossible for them to be this young. Bao Lai couldn't help but wipe away a streak of cold sweat, forcing himself to calm down. But his voice still trembled slightly, filled with respect. Senior Lin, what can I do for you? Lin Shi crossed his legs, cutting straight to the chase. I heard you guys are about to go to war with the Federation headquarters. Bao Lai frowned, asking in astonishment, heard? Who did you hear that from? I have my sources. I don't need to explain myself to you. I came this time to buy a batch of supplies. This was the plan he had discussed with Xia Chun beforehand. No need to reveal his identity. Just showing his strength was enough. These scheming people would guess Lin Shi's identity on their own. Even if Lin Shi said he was just an ordinary person, they wouldn't believe it. But with Lin Shi's formidable strength, if they weren't fools, once they confirmed Lin Shi wasn't from the Federation headquarters, they would definitely try to recruit him. Lin Shi took out the unnamed card he got from selling the spatial item last time and waved it in his hand. I need a batch of supplies. Find someone to prepare it for me. The more, the better. Bao Lai was drawn to the card in Lin Shi's hand. He knew it contained nearly 800 million Federation credits. It would probably be impossible to prepare that many supplies in a short time. It's fine. Just prepare as much as you can. Lin Shi tossed it straight to Bao Lai. Aren't you afraid I'll take the money and not do the work? Bao Lai asked in astonishment as he caught the card Lin Shi casually threw over. 800 million Federation credits, given away just like that. Such decisiveness. Not even the district chief of District 1 had this level of boldness. What's there to worry about? Is your black market going to run away over 800 million? Lin Shi narrowed his eyes, a glint flashing through them. Bao Lai immediately sat up straight. Rest assured, sir. I will definitely prepare everything for you. If I can't prepare enough, the remaining balance will be fully refunded. All right, I'm leaving. Once it's ready, just leave it somewhere and let me know. I'll come pick it up myself. Bao Lai immediately stood up to see his guest out. He escorted Lin Shi out of the underground black market, only stopping when they reached the door of the surface-level supply supermarket. Throughout the entire process, Bao Lai maintained a respectful attitude, treating Lin Shi as if he were an extremely important figure. This attitude left the black market subordinates staring in dumbfounded shock. They had never seen their boss treat anyone with such high regard. After Lin Shi left, Bao Lai quickly returned to his private area and without hesitation, turned on his optical computer. Several portrait photos immediately appeared on the screen. Bao Lai clicked on these photos one by one, and soon, he successfully contacted these people. Anyone who frequently watched TV programs would probably recognize the people chatting with Bao Lai. Through these portrait photos, they were the district chiefs of New District 5, New District 6, New District 7, New District 8, and New District 9. Bao Lai, what's with all the commotion today? Contacting all of us at the same time. What happened? A district chief asked. On the optical computer screen, the first person to speak seemed a bit impatient, casually pulling his shirt open to reveal his bare chest. Behind him, a pair of slender hands caressed his body. That was Pang Yu, the district chief of New District 5. Not even 40 years old, yet already a Tier 7 mental power user. I have something to tell you all. I just discovered a Level 9 mental power user, Bao Lai said in a deep voice. Hearing this, everyone in the video had different expressions, but they were all universally horrified. A Level 9 mental power user. Did the old geezers from the Federation headquarters find you? Qin Feng, a woman sunbathing on a beach in New District 8, jumped up from her chair in shock. The district chief of New District 7 stared wide-eyed. How is that possible? That person couldn't possibly leave New District 1. It's not a war god. Bao Lai took a deep breath and said. The powerful mental pressure and Lin Shi's youthful face flashed through his mind. He was also very suspicious. How could such a powerful person have never been famous before? Last time, Bao Lai had gone through a lot of trouble to find experts to thoroughly investigate Lin Shi's background. But the results were disappointing. He only received trivial, useless information. This information made Bao Lai firmly believe it was all fake, meant to conceal the truly important details. However, even though Bao Lai didn't hesitate to use his level 8 authority to investigate thoroughly, he still couldn't find any valuable clues. This made Bao Lai suspect that the information regarding Lin Shi might belong to an extremely high security clearance. Or in other words, Lin Shi's importance far exceeded his imagination. But what he absolutely didn't expect was that Lin Shi was actually a powerful level 9 mental power user. That way, all the previous mysteries made sense. After all, someone like that would definitely have level 9 information access. It was a given that they couldn't find his real information. Bao Lai brought up Lin Shi's profile for everyone to see, then said, "This is that level 9 mental power user. His mental power is incredibly strong. He is absolutely the strongest person I have ever seen." The others looked at the profile Bao Lai presented, all wearing grave and doubtful expressions. Only the district chief of New District 9, Duan Lang, was stunned when he saw Lin Shi's profile. Isn't this the kid with level 5 mental power that Lu Fangqiu wanted to take revenge on last time? Now he's a level 9 mental power user? Duan Lang immediately understood. If Bao Lai wasn't mistaken, then Lu Fangqiu's death last time was definitely related to this person. And such a young level 9 mental power user at that. Bao Lai, did you miscalculate? Chang Dao, the district chief of New District 6, asked. No one suspected Bao Lai of lying. There was absolutely no need for that. If this was fake, it would be easily exposed. Since Bao Lai had no reason to lie, it could only be a miscalculation. Exactly. How could a 21-year-old be a level 9 mental power user? Even if he trained his mental power since childhood, it couldn't be that fast. If someone that talented appeared, there wouldn't be just one level 9 mental power user in the whole world. The others also chimed in with questions. Of course, they hoped this was true. The Federation headquarters had gained another level 9 mental power user. Everyone understood what this meant. If their odds of winning against the Federation headquarters were only 50-50, having such a powerful reinforcement would definitely increase their chances of winning by a large margin. But the sudden appearance of a level 9 mental power user in the underworld was too unbelievable, making it hard for people to accept. This was truly unbelievable, no different from a myth. It was like everyone was used to there being only one moon in the sky. And now someone jumped out and declared that a second moon had appeared in the sky. How could that be? It was completely absurd. Moreover, this profile had nothing special about it. The only notable point was that this person suddenly went for a mental power assessment a few months ago and passed the level 5 mental power exam. If you said he was a powerful mental power genius, I could somewhat accept it. But saying someone like this could become a level 9 mental power powerhouse. Sorry, I can't agree with that no matter what. On the other hand, if he really is a level 9 mental power powerhouse, how could someone with your clearance, Bao Lai, easily look up his detailed profile like this? This profile looks too ordinary. It doesn't look like the profile of a level 9 mental power powerhouse at all, Peng Yu, the district chief of New District 5, said with absolute certainty. Exactly, Bao Lai. Logically speaking, information about a level 9 mental power powerhouse isn't something your clearance can just casually look up, right? The other district chiefs unanimously agreed with Peng Yu's viewpoint, expressing doubts about the profile's authenticity. Bao Lai raised his voice. This is a forged profile. Can't you guys tell? At first, I didn't think this person was a level 9 mental power powerhouse either. I thought this person was an important figure from the Federation headquarters, so my clearance could only pull up a fake profile. Over 3 months ago, this person brought 30 spatial items, including a high-level spatial item, to find me to trade for high explosive energy rounds, but I refused him. Today, this person came to the black market again and revealed his mental power. Only then did I confirm he is a level 9 mental power powerhouse. I've been at level 8 for decades. I couldn't possibly misjudge it. At that moment, when his mental power erupted, even I felt the urge to kneel and submit. As soon as he finished speaking, The expressions of the other district chiefs instantly turned grave and astonished. What? 30 spatial items? And even a high-level spatial item? Is this true? What exactly is this person's identity? Bao Lai nodded, recounting the whole story from his first meeting with Lin Shi to today's transaction. I'm guessing this person's identity is definitely extraordinary. To easily bring out so many spatial items, and even an unregistered high-level spatial item among them. The faction behind this person must be incredibly massive. Besides the Federation headquarters, what other faction has such a foundation to bring out a high-level spatial item? And they even have a level 9 mental power powerhouse. Besides Qingming, is there another faction in this world that we don't know about? Could he be the mastermind behind Qingming? For a moment, everyone was buzzing with discussion, their noisy voices filling the room. But at this moment, Duan Lang, the district chief of New District 9, suddenly spoke up. Everyone, please quiet down. Actually, I know this person. Only then did everyone notice that Lin Shi's profile seemed to have clearly stated early on that he originated from New District 9. District Chief Duan, this is someone from your star district? Duan Lang recounted Lin Shi's story. He used to be a logistics member in their squad. Later, he had a conflict with a desolate planet and the captain, and was ultimately killed mysteriously by Lu Tianshou, the captain of the 9th Combat Squad. Unfortunately, everyone who knew Lin Shi is no longer in New District 9. Otherwise, I would have definitely brought them back for interrogation. Luckily, Lu Tianshou, taking his anger out on others, exiled Lin Shi's ex-girlfriend, Xiang Su, and the teammates in that squad to the wilderness, leaving them to fend for themselves. In other words, this person had always disguised himself as an ordinary person, blending in at New District 9. Enduring such humiliation, he must be plotting something massive. Could it be related to our current plan? So he left New District 9, probably because he was pushed into a corner and had to reveal his strength. At first, he thought Tier 5 strength was enough. He didn't expect your combat squad's commander-in-chief to still want to make a move against him. So he had to use his full power to kill him. Everyone started speculating. Right. Since he's a Tier 9 mental power powerhouse, why don't we recruit him to our side? That way, our chances of winning against the Federation headquarters will increase significantly. We'll have someone to keep that Federation war god in check. Finally, someone hit the nail on the head. Bao Lai chimed in. Everyone, that's exactly what I was thinking. I want to try and recruit him to our side. More than 10 days after leaving the black market, Lin Shi received a notification to pick up his goods from the black market. When he arrived at the black market, the person who received Lin Shi was Scarface, who was usually by Bao Lai's side. A Shui led Lin Shi to the warehouse of the supply supermarket. The warehouse was filled with all kinds of supplies, a dazzling array of items. Qing Yi and Qing Er didn't know what Lin Shi had been doing during this time. Seeing Lin Shi buy so many supplies, the two exchanged glances, their eyes full of astonishment. Because the sheer volume of supplies was truly too much. Just a glance wasn't enough to estimate their value. They had never seen so many supplies before. The supplies have been prepared for you, sir. A total value of 800 million Federation credits. Please review the list. Consider the extra supplies as a gesture of goodwill from our boss. Please don't refuse. Scarface, A. Shui handed Lin Shi a list detailing the names and quantities of the supplies. Lin Shi glanced over it. It didn't just contain daily necessities, food, and drinks, but also quite a few weapons and equipment. Since Lin Shi had told Bao Lai to prepare it, Bao Lai had thought it over carefully these past few days. In the end, he still decided to take out some firearms and add them to this pile of supplies. These firearms weren't circulated on the market. Taking them out for Lin Shi was Bao Lai's way of trying to recruit him, braving the risks. Gritting his teeth, he made the decision. Very good. I'll accept these supplies. With a slight shift of Lin Shi's thoughts, all the supplies in the warehouse vanished in an instant. Everything went into Lin Shi's spatial space. This scene left everyone present, except Lin Shi, completely horrified. An entire warehouse, 800 million worth of supplies, vanished cleanly in the blink of an eye. It wasn't that they had never seen spatial items before, but they had never seen one with such a massive capacity. Moreover, Lin Shi just stood there, his hands not moving at all, yet the items were still collected. It didn't even require physical contact? Scarface A. Shui was left dumbfounded on the spot by Lin Shi. To have such a powerful storage capability, it had to be at least a high-level spatial item. Recalling that Lin Shi had previously sold a high-level spatial item, A. Shui dared not underestimate this young man even more. He remembered his boss Bao Lai's instructions, his attitude becoming even more respectful. Esteemed guest, our boss said that if you are satisfied with the inspection, please come to the black market at 3 p.m. tomorrow. The boss has VIPs who wish to meet you. After saying that, A. Shui whispered, using his mental power to transmit the message into Lin Shi's ear. It's regarding the current situation of the Federation. Lin Shi frowned. If he and Xia Chun guessed correctly, the ones looking for him this time were very likely the district chiefs allied with the black market. If so, their initial plan was a success. Next, it was time to negotiate. Lin Shi nodded and turned to leave. Tomorrow at 3 p.m., I will be there. Qing Yi and Qing Er followed closely behind Lin Shi. The three left the black market. Right after Lin Shi left, A. Shui hurriedly reported to Bao Lai. The result, of course, made Bao Lai value Lin Shi even more. Outside the black market, it suddenly started raining heavily. Lin Shi, along with Qing Yi and Qing Er, hailed a taxi back to the villa. The rain grew heavier and heavier. The driver muttered curses at the weather. Fortunately, the car still brought Lin Shi back to the villa safely. It was still early. Lin Shi returned to the villa and used the cornucopia to contact Xia Chun, reporting the situation. Xia Chun said, "Very good. Next, they will offer a price to tempt you. When you go this time, don't mention the high explosive energy rounds. Our goal is too obvious and easily exposed. I know. Be careful. Our team is going hunting in the wilderness tomorrow. I might be hard to reach for the next few days. You be careful too." The conversation ended. Xia Chun watched the words on the spatial item's mirror slowly fade away, gently pushed his glasses up, and strode from the balcony into the room. The simple room, compared to 3 months ago, now had many more daily necessities and electrical appliances. It was carefully decorated and looked much brighter. In the kitchen, Xiang Su was busy in front of the stove. The delicious aroma of food wafted through the air, adding a touch of warmth to the simple little room. The food is ready. Let's eat. Xiang Su brought the food out from the kitchen. Seeing Xia Chun's hair soaking wet from the rain, she softly scolded, "Look at you. Your hair is all wet. Hurry up and dry it. Don't catch a cold." After saying that, Xiang Su placed the food on the table and ran to the bathroom to get a towel for Xia Chun. Xia Chun smiled helplessly. People on the aqua blue planet rarely caught colds, let alone him, who had taken the medicine Lin Shi gave him to unlock the Tier 4 gene lock. But Xia Chun still took the towel, dried his hair carefully, and then sat down at the dining table. "I'm going on a mission tomorrow." Xiang Su, who was handing food to Xia Chun, paused when she heard this. Her originally bright eyes dimmed, filled with worry and tension. "Tomorrow? Going to the wilderness?" "Yeah, this trip will take at least a few days. If you run into any trouble you can't solve while I'm gone, go to this address and find him. He will help you." Xia Chun placed a prepared card on the table. On it was the address of the villa Lin Shi was renting and a contact number. Ordinary people don't have optical computers, but there are public phones on the street. You can call the landline. "This is your star friend, the one who brought you here last time." Xiang Su picked up the card, glanced at it, and put it down. The way she looked at Xia Chun was still full of worry. Everyone knew how dangerous the wilderness on the Sanlian continent was. The reason they couldn't leave their designated living areas for their entire lives was also because of the wild beasts.